Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotoOption Supercross. From Oswego, New York, riding for Underground RC, number 39, Caleb Hall. From Marmora, New Jersey, riding for Heckman Productions SYS Racing, number 4, Jeremy Smith. From Tampa, Florida, riding for JIBR.co, 2021 MX Simulator National Champion, number 5, Tyler Lang. From Lillington, North Carolina, riding for TSCZ Productions, number 11, Luke Sullivan. From Watkins Glen, New York, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, number 12, Braden Castellaneta. From Mattawan, Michigan, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, number 78, Jacob Hubbard. From Shawnigan Lake, Canada, riding for District Designs, number 24, Colby Eaglin. From Scottsdale, Arizona, riding for District Designs, 2022 MX Simulator National Champion, number 51, Payson Johnson.
That's the stupid truth. I slap the booty red, attach it to a bed, then I use and loose. Cruise ahead, patty banger through the roof and do a doggy till I get charged with animal abuse. Alive and living, I've been a hard-headed victim ever since I saw death in the car. Recollection from bars, reckless drinking from hard. Sex with women and getting tatted like a walking, talking art exhibition. Listen, I just want the amazing life that Jay-Z has, who plays Mercedes Jags. Ladies banging me the lazy jazz, but rap is tough, I have to hustle like a crazy ass. The most underrated is what you can rate me as. I'll take these jabs, you make me bleed, but you won't make me spaz. I wait and choke you like on a face and make the ass. My dad passed before we got the 41. That's when I knew no one's important or immortal, son. We're all just drums, me, I'm only in it for the fun. I came to spray the audience with champagne and water guns. And when I go, I pray to God my friends pour me some gin on my grave like my name was Jim Morrison.
From France, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, 2018 Supercross Champion, number 7, Alexis Leclerc.
Rewind.
Check the tape.
Win the Anaheim opener in 2000. Braden Carter's going to win tonight in Anaheim through to win the Seattle Supercross.
2022 Supercross champion. From Costa Mesa, California, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, your two-time and defending Supercross champion, number 1, Braden Carter.
No way. No way.
I must run away.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. It's round 11 of the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship in MX Simulator. My name is Kellen Brower. I'm joined in the booth tonight. He made it just in the nick of time. It's Andrew Wood. He's here. He's ready to call the racing action with me as we bring the action tonight from Seattle. Well, we expect it to be a mutter this weekend, but tonight, these guys get a fresh racetrack to run. Looking pretty sharp out there tonight already.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see these return to this 250 West class here tonight. It's going to be a good night of racing. We haven't seen them in a while. Let's check out some qualifying times right here.
Yeah, we'll pull up our qualifying times on screen and get you guys revved up and ready to go. Actually get a quick refresh and see the most up-to-date times that we have here from just at the end of qualifying. Johnson fastest, though, which is exactly what we saw moments ago. Balzer coming over from the 250 East Championship up here in the mix in the 450 class. And then our defending champion and current points leader, Braden Carter, with one of his better qualifyings we've seen of late, going P3 here tonight. And looking sharp already for Carter, but Johnson already 4/10 up on everybody else.
Yeah, I was going to say 6/10 back for Carter is still a lot, but qualifying third's got to give him a little bit of confidence to keep this championship kind of moving and try to get a gap on these guys. But good to see Balzer moving up there from the 250 East class. We know he's been fast. So interesting to see if he can play spoiler a little bit here tonight.
Yeah, well, of course, Balzer coming from the 250 East to race here tonight because 250 West is back in action. Seth Shirley comes in as our championship leader. We'll get to that in a second. But Braden Tharp has gone fastest tonight by just a 10th over Sam Weigman. Tharp with a 52.7, Weigman 52.8, Shirley, Chwalik, Matherly, Holyhead, Frank Jackson, all within a second of each other inside of that top 7. So hopefully that gives us some closer racing tonight with these guys all mixed together in those 1 second range.
Yeah, I think this 250 West class has been a little bit closer as far as the speed of the top guys, closer than the 250 East class. So going to be some tight racing here tonight. This class has been really interesting so far. Not really the runaways that I feel like we would see too much. A lot of guys kind of getting up in the mix there. So really excited to see what these guys bring for us here tonight.
Well, of course, the championship is what we're still trying to focus in on here down the stretch, and Braden Carter has got this thing out to 21 points to the advantage after his 5th win of the season last week in Detroit. He's won half of the races this year, and every time it seems like Leclerc, Johnson, Eaglin, any of them are starting to get some momentum built up. Carter steals a win and stops all of that. Can any of these guys get it back going and try to catch him down the stretch here?
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's starting to become a pretty big gap here again. Carter's looking to kind of run away with this thing, but these guys got to make a move fast. I would look for a win by Leclerc or Johnson here tonight. if they really want to get the ball rolling as we go down the stretch here, second half of the season.
Yeah, I'd have to say Leclerc or Johnson, especially with the break coming up next week, really, really need a win here tonight to kind of stifle that momentum that Carter's got going. Seth Shirley, though, after this long hiatus for the West guys, we haven't seen him in a month and a half. Shirley comes in as our championship leader, up 23 on Jet Holyhead. Rogan McIntosh, Cade Matherly, also somewhat in the mix with Vanderbeek still 37 back, but already almost a full race distance lead in this short championship. Shirley is in the driver's seat, it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely kind of pulling away from these guys. We've seen guys get up there and get in the mix for race wins, but they haven't really had the consistency. So while we've been seeing really close racing in this class, no one has shown the consistency that Shirley has, and that's what it takes to win championships.
Yeah, Shirley's definitely been very consistent. All right, that is our qualifying and championship standings coming into tonight here at Seattle. There's an overlook of the racetrack here that you can see from the overhead view. Bit of a unique racetrack. I believe this is actually the one that was designed by a player in the Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 5 games. So a bit of a unique track where we're going to see a video game track raced in a different video game here tonight, Andrew. We'll see how it races for these guys.
Yeah, it should race good. I like the long, kind of tricky rhythm sections. You got the one coming out of the 90 after the finish line, but I like everything about it. Whoop section and the triple kind of jumps before and after the finish line. And just going to be really interesting to see what these kind of guys kind of do. It's hopefully a lot of options for these guys here tonight, and that's what I really like to see, especially in the 450 class when they can really spice it up.
Yeah, one thing that does stick out to me about this track is a lot of 90s. There are 4 90-degree corners, well, basically 5 if you consider the sand corner a 90 as well on this track. And so because of that, we might see a little bit more one-line racing in those sections of the track. But another cool thing about the 90 before the whoop specifically is it might also give an opportunity for guys that are just that little bit closer, maybe take a dive bomb pass attempt down the inside and block someone from having a better drive into the whoops. Maybe, just maybe, that is a good spot for passing here tonight for some of these guys out there.
Yeah, I also am looking at the one at the bottom right of our screen there for kind of if guys are going to be tripling out, they might have to go to the outside for that double back across the start before the one you talked about. Or if guys are going to kind of double or single out and they can hug up that inside and kind of make some moves there. So 90s aren't always bad for racing depending on what's before or after them. So really, those can definitely be really interesting passing spots. So I'm excited for this track. It looks great, and I can't wait to see how it rides.
Definitely a lot of long rhythm lanes out there as well that could make things a little bit more interesting as we see the night go on. We're going to get a quick disconnect and reconnect here in the server so that we can load up A-OK and check everything out. But certainly looks like a fun racetrack for these guys to challenge themselves against the competition here tonight and see who comes out on top in the Pacific Northwest. So coming up first, 250 West heat race number 1. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up our moto names real quick here so we get that all dialed in. But 250 West heat number 1, we haven't seen these guys in a while. Andrew, do we expect maybe some rustiness out of these guys? Some of these guys that we actually haven't even seen racing on the 450 on the opposite coast. Or are they going to come in guns blazing and feel like they haven't missed a beat?
Yeah, I think surely Seth is going to have a good round back
Surely
after
Seth.
racing the 450 rounds on the East Coast. I feel like he's gained a lot of confidence from that. But these guys could be a little sketchy after the long break, maybe if they took some time off.
Well, a little bit of an announcement for Seth Shirley. He has actually jumped to JIBR.co for this final stretch of the championship. Wanted to be teammates with Tyler Lang, so we got a new team for Shirley. Let's drop the gate in Seattle. Oh, looks like the 29 machine got to the corner first. Maxime Vanderbeek, that's actually the 29 machine, excuse me, of Vanderbeek grabbing the whole shot. Tharp, the fastest qualifier down the inside on the 20, is actually maybe going to shoot into the lead, but instead Shirley squeaks through them all, takes over the race lead momentarily. Tharp makes a mistake, and it's going to be Shirley leading them through with Alex Burns and Maxime Vanderbeek on them as they go through the whoops on the first lap.
Yeah, Shirley right where he wants to be at the beginning of this as we get a little bit of dualies going over that triple right there. But with all the confidence he's built up on the 450 to go out there and get a top 3 start and quickly work his way up to the first place position, I think he's very comfortable with where he's at right now, and he wants to take control of this race early and kind of show these guys that he hasn't missed a step.
Yeah, he's looking comfortable already, opening up a small gap as Burns is going to settle into this battle for second with he and Maxime Vanderbeek. Remember, Vanderbeek coming into tonight, pretty far outside chance of still being alive for this championship as we move into the second half of this championship tonight. But he's trying to make it work. Oh, down the inside of the sand and tucks the front wheel. That's going to bite these guys in that sand section tonight. That rut kind of gives out at the exit of the sand. You can see Vanderbeek pushing it a little bit too hard there. Loses the front end, and down he goes, allowing Tharp, Gatlin by, and now they're on Burns in what has become the 3-rider battle for second place here.
Yeah, Gatlin's been riding good as well. Burns getting a little sketchy here through the whoops, and that's going to be Gatlin going down. He's going to collect Tharp. Tharp is not going to go all the way down off his motorcycle, but he is going to lose a couple positions there to Vanderbeek, as well as another rider there. So he's going to remount. Looks like about 5th place. I don't know what place he went to. Triley's over the finish there. Looks like Tyler Smith right now in the middle of this. So let's see what can happen here. As these guys remount, they're all battling when you're towards the back. As we see him miss that jump there, Tyler Smith's actually going to go by and get the spot. He's actually going to get Twofold there as Frank Jackson makes the move.
Yeah, there's definitely close action there. It looks like this is 4th, 5th, and 6th now on our screen after that crash with Tharp going a little bit backwards, losing a couple positions off of that crash in the whoop section. Vanderbeek is going to gain a few spots back, and it's still Burns is holding on to this second place all by himself. 3.7 seconds down as Shirley continues to click in with the lead out front, but those whoops, man, they look like they're going to bite these guys tonight. They're peaky. They're a little bit shorter, maybe closer together, and it seems like these guys are kind of skipping back and forth on them a bit. Yeah,
it almost seems like they're skipping whoops, and that kind of sets off the balance of your suspension there. So we'll see how these guys react. The 250s feel a little bit lighter in the whoops, not as planted. So we'll see if those guys can kind of stop those issues from happening here throughout the night. Maybe get a little bit more comfortable as they get more time on the track. But Vanderbeek in 3rd here, pretty far back though. So Shirley, and is that a lapper?
No, that's Alex Burns.
Oh, Burns. So sorry, Burns makes a mistake there. So he's going to have some company with him. But man, 6.3 seconds out front of Shirley. He's definitely showing some confidence here tonight. These guys might be racing for second place. Is Vanderbeek actually going to blow that sand corner? He goes outside, but unable to hold the outside berm as well. But there's a mistake by Burns through the rhythm section. So Vanderbeek's going to get that triple on and triple by him into the second place position.
So now it's Vanderbeek up into 2nd. It's still Shirley leading this thing rather comfortably as Burns settles back into 3rd. Here's Tyler Smith going at her for 4th with Frank Jackson still hot on his heels, and Tharp on the 20s trying to close it down as we go into the Supercross triple. Oh, Jackson got sideways. Doolies. And here comes Alex Burns back into this battle as well. So now a 3-rider battle for 3rd, almost a 4-rider battle for 3rd, with Tharp just off the rear fender there. Frank Jackson in the background on the number 20. Jackson on the number 28 Yamaha there. Oh, as Tyler Smith tucks the front end, he's going to lose a couple positions. Is that Matherly also trying to squeak by there? It is. Matherly on the 25 just over top is going to make that pass as well. He's trying to get up into this group. Oh, as Tharp almost goes a little bit long right there. You can see Tharp really putting the pressure on Frank Jackson as they both try to catch Alex Burns in this battle for 3rd place. Tight action. Nobody's seeming to give an inch so far in this 250 West heat race.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to mistakes, a little bit of different line choices there. Who could get that triple in? So these two are going to lose some time to Alex Burns, but Tharp not giving up just yet. This battle for 3rd, these guys really want that gate position. So it's going to be pretty important coming into the main. If you're, oh my God, Tharp looked like he was about to wheelie the whole thing. Drops the front though. That's going to mess up Burns, and Matherly's going to go by, or not Burns. It's going to take me a while to get back with these 250 West guys. I've been so used to calling East so far, but Jackson back up there, man. What a wild ride that was, and Tyler Smith going to get that position just in front of him.
Yeah, Tharp wheeled about 7 whoops, and then as soon as he put the front wheel down, it's like a trampoline hit. The front wheel just exploded him off the bike. So he'll remount. I think he's still in a transfer spot. We'll reset things here real quick as we come down into the final minute plus a lap of this heat race. Remember, top 9 transfer out of this. It is Seth Shirley still leading Vanderbeek in 2nd. Alex Burns has withstood all the pressure that's been given to him. He's still holding on to the 3rd spot right here. And Matherly has moved up into 4th. Tyler Smith is in 5th. Jackson 6th. Gatlin is 7th. And Tharp is still in 8th with Lucas Brun of Devisland holding down 9th. And Timmy Briscoe back here with Luke Fauser, both trying to catch him up from 10th and 11th. Oh, man. Fauser almost got kicked sideways going on to that on-off. I don't know how he crowded together, but now they're going to land on each other. And while they're battling for 10th, they're both going to go down. Fauser ends up stuck underneath Timmy Briscoe. He has to back out from underneath of him. Somehow he didn't actually fall off the bike right there, but a pretty big crash for those guys. Bridges, Schaefer, Estrella, just all these guys going by while they were all down.
Yeah, those guys kind of lucked into this, so they can put on a charge now for that final transfer spot. Kind of a bummer right there to not go down, but get stuck under the bike and lose that much time after a little bit of a seeming cross jump situation. But Jeremy Estrella right now, these guys are about 6.5 seconds outside of the transfer spot, so they need to put a move on or hope for a mistake from the guys in front of them up in 9th place. But this is a close battle, but they both need to focus forward, kind of see that toying with them a little bit there, but you're kind of just slowing each other down, and you guys need to be focused on moving forward.
Yeah, these guys are battling for 10th, so neither of them are going to the main event as it stands right now, and you can see Schaefer just squeaks down the inside to repass Estrella as they went back and forth in that bowl corner after that rhythm section onto the start straight. So they're still just battling it out for 10th. They've got to get up to Lucas Brune holding down this 9th and final transfer spot if they're hoping to make that main event. Still Jackson, Tharp, Gatland, Smith, Matherly, Burns, Vanderbeek up ahead of these guys. But it has been all Seth Shirley in this heat race. Got out front in that first rhythm section. Didn't quite get the whole shot, but now joining up with the JIBR.co team. Oh, just as I say that,
The
commentators curse. Sound like Ricky Carmichael out here tonight as looks like Shirley's going to pick it up. Still in the race lead. Just get going in time before Vanderbeek gets there. So a little late race mistake, but he'll hold on and win this thing. So Seth Shirley back in action. New team and all. Wins 250 West heat number 1 here tonight in Seattle. He's going to the main event happy there. Vanderbeek second. Matherly looks like he's in third. And then Chaos right now in fourth as Smith and Tharp down in the whoops again. Nowhere almost to go for Jack Gatlin. Runs over the top of him. So it's going to be Tyler Smith coming across in the 4th position. Gatland 5th. Jackson is going to be 6th. That's a lapped rider right there. Alex Burns 7th. These guys all tire tapping up to the line
so
right
tight.
there, with Tharp in 8th. And Lucas Brune does go through in 9th, I believe. That is the first career main event ever for Lucas Brune. So congratulations, the Devastland number 405 going to the main event. Putting a lot of other people behind him in a little bit of an unhappy scenario going to that last chance qualifier.
Yeah, that a little bit of a wild ride for some of these guys closer towards that transfer spot. Really good for Brune to get through there. He was just kind of there fighting, kind of kept himself there, didn't make as many mistakes as everyone else, and that's what you need, especially in this 250 class, to get through the main event. Just kind of ride your own race. You don't have to be the fastest one out there. He's, yeah, I mean, 4th place, our 213 rider, 56.1, and he's the next one with a 56.1 as well. So 2nd slowest lap inside the top 9, but it doesn't matter if you can show that consistency and keep it on 2 wheels when everyone around you is making mistakes. So good for him. And man, Seth Shirley, everyone missing out, but Seth Shirley, definitely I feel like he's got that confidence from riding in that 450 class the last couple weeks, having some great finishes there. He's just coming in this strong, and I think everyone else who thought they might be able to get this battle a little bit closer might have some problems on their hands.
Yeah, Shirley definitely looked very solid in that heat race. Aside from that late crash in the whoops, I think it just goes to show that it doesn't matter if you're the championship leader or if you're trying to battle for the final transfer spot. These whoops are going to take no prisoners tonight. They want everybody to be laying in coffins inside of them by the end of the evening, and Shirley himself even going down in the whoops right there. So see what the championship leader looks like so far. Now we get to see what some of the other riders in this 250 West division are looking like aside from him. We already saw our fastest qualifier, Braden Tharp, but you got Sam Weigman coming up in this next one. Hopefully we see Jet Holyhead out there, who's 2nd in this championship as well. And if anybody can stop Seth Shirley, because he's already starting to fire off on the right foot here tonight with this heat race win, we got to find somebody who can step up to the plate and challenge him for this race win here tonight.
Yeah, kind of like the 450 class, though, that we've been talking about week in and week out, is the person who steps up and tries to take control of who tries to come in and kind of eat at that points gap has to be one of those first 2 guys that's behind in points. If you're in 5th or 6th in the championship and Shirley's riding around in 2nd, he's not going to really worry too much, and he's going to ride his own race because he knows he has that points gap. So it's got to be one of the guys that's close in the championship to kind of try to strike back here and hope for maybe some mistakes by Shirley in the main event. Maybe as the track breaks down a little bit more, got to just take control and capitalize on any mistakes that happen.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us for the first time this season in MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross, this is, of course, MX Simulator Professional Racing. MX Simulator is a video game that was released in 2008. So it's been around quite a while and maybe looks a little bit outdated to some of you guys, but it's very well known for its good physical aspects and, of course, great online racing, which is why we're covering it here tonight. And we'll see the track deform and break down a little bit in each race. It actually does have ruts develop. It has braking bumps develop. It's hard to see them from our faraway cameras, but up close and personal, especially when we do some onboard cameras, you'll definitely see these guys dealing with some ruts, some braking bumps, and some other things like that. But unfortunately, it resets after every single restart of the race. So this restart that's coming up will reset the track again, and then it'll reset again and reset again. So we'll see the track break down more in those longer main events a little bit later on tonight. But just know that there are some ruts out there. These guys are navigating them each and every single lap, trying to find the optimal line and figure out what works and what doesn't on this tricky Seattle track. particularly in the sand is where we'll see it really dig in the most, I think.
Yeah, I think that inside you're going to see used a lot more as the race kind of develops. Maybe some of the guys not going to it right away, especially in the 450 class. I feel like those guys are going to be going up the inside. It breaks down a little bit more from the 450s, and that could be a viable passing option there. Some guys try to shoot up the inside. Even coming back onto the start straight, there is a small little starter rut there for the guys to use, and that will become used more and more as the races go on, and it becomes a passing opportunity there for the guys. So I like to see how the track breaks down, especially in some of those corners, the sand section especially. Do you want to go high speed around the wall that builds up around the outside, or are you going to kind of break in that inside line and try to make some passes when you're close to guys? We'll see what they start doing as the track breaks down throughout the races and especially the longer main events.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. 250 West Heat number 2 is coming up. Again, top 9 go to the main event. Everybody else is going to be heading to that last chance qualifier, trying to make it through that one. So it is crunch time for some of these guys. They're trying to make it into that top 9 right here, right now. Let's see who gets it done. 250 West Heat 2 is underway. Out of the middle again. It looks like those inside gates aren't quite working, and the guy that got to the corner second goes down. It is going to be Stevenson grabbing the whole shot, and he looks like he will get that quad, triple, double line through the first rhythm section to hold the lead. It's a battle for second between Jeremy Schiabro, who's down the outside line there on the 152, and Max Chwalik of the Phil Ski and Snowboard Ride moving into the second position now. Might go to the race lead on Stevenson as we go to the triple. Dooley! Big time, and it is Chwalik down the inside to take over the race lead.
Yeah, Chwalik's definitely shown some speed in the opening races in this championship, but kind of not able to pull it all together. I feel like he's had a couple sketchy moments, but he's showing definitely the speed hasn't gotten lost now over the break that these guys have had. Going to miss that rhythm there, though, so he's going to get past up the inside, but by not one, but 2 riders, almost 3. Schiabro is going to be up the inside, though. We'll see what happens here as they kind of go. 250s don't have all the power out of there, but he's actually going to get help from another rider moving into third. That's Nathan McLaughlin that's going to push back Max Chwalik back to the 4th place spot.
Man, this is frantic action. We got a freight train of riders at the front of this pack still. Not a lot of crashing has commenced just yet. We'll see if it all uncorks in the whoop section this time by. But it is Stevenson continuing to lead this race as McLaughlin down the inside is going to pass Schiabro with a nice move. Hard on the brakes down the inside in the 90-degree left-hand corner right there. And up to the Supercross triple we go in a nose-to-tail jump off that triple. Chwalik down the inside repasses Schiabro to get up into 3rd place. And right behind these guys is Jet Holyhead, Sam Weigman, who is second in qualifying, Nico Marchini also in the mix. And remember, White Drizzle there in the 5th position. He is second in the championship standing, so he's trying to do everything he can to kind of match what Shirley did in his heat race, and he's got to go through some good competition here to get out front of this one.
I was trying to drop White Drizzle first. You beat me to it, but we got him definitely pushing hard behind Squiddy. I do like Squiddy letting up for Chwalik. As we see Chwalik using that inside line, he's going to go through and make the pass back on McLaughlin right there. So I really like McLaughlin's move before the whoops, though. That just shows some confidence right there early on in this race, but not able to hold it on too bad. But this 250, who was that? Was that Holyhead?
Holyhead got absolutely clobbered by Sam Weigman, who just ran it in a little bit deep behind Holyhead into that corner. So Jet's going to pick it up now in 11th position. Oh, excuse me, he remounts in 8th. The timing and scoring catching up to us there is Schiabro also went down by the looks of it. So Schiabro back into 9th,
down again.
and he's going down again. That's going to allow Nick Niles into the final transfer spot. But Holyhead back in the 8th position here, getting a little bit more onto that bubble zone. Got to be careful to not have another crash because he's going to fall out of a transfer spot if he's not careful here.
Yeah, if you're having making mistakes in the whoops, you got to kind of slow down and focus on that every time you get to it. Maybe not trying to make any passes through there, just survive, because 10 seconds from a fall off, it's going to hurt you a lot less than being a second slower through that every lap, especially if you're already in a good transfer position. So some of these guys just need to kind of slow it down. I think they're almost coming in with too much speed. Maybe they built them a little closer together or tighter because it is out of a 90. But if those guys are carrying too much speed, I wonder if we'll see people go to the inside, as Holyhead's actually going to get a position there. Maybe 2 here as he's trying to move up the inside.
This is Weigman who hit him, and remember Holyhead, he's going to remember that. Look at, he pushes him off the corner. So now it's battle is
back on.
How did Weigman rejoin the track in the middle of the whoops? I'll never understand these guys. But he actually does make it work, and the rider was down, so they gained a position, both of them. I feel like this isn't over yet. Weigman pushing Holyhead off the berm. Holyhead coming and fighting back. It's kind of looking like Tomac versus Wilson here in Seattle, like a decade ago now, with those guys just throwing blows at each other in this heat race.
Yeah, Weigman almost goes through the front door there, but Holyhead was a lot nicer than I would have been there. A lot of people, I feel like, did Holyhead just go down?
No, he's
Holyhead
lagging.
disconnected, or is lagging, so he's still going to be there right behind him. But a lot of people think that I don't like dirty riding. No, you just got to do it the right way, and I feel like he was a little too gentle with that push off there, but I guess smart by him to not take himself out there. Maybe wasn't the best corner in that 90 before the whoops. But look at Holyhead just sending it on the flat there, trying to carry as much speed as he can, but still chasing Weigman. Weigman is moving forward, had that great qualifying speed. Looks like he's going to be moving by Brett Thomas. Not this corner, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does it in the next couple straightaways here. Just got so much more speed by Thomas, who had a great start, but just not the same type of speed as Weigman.
Yeah, Weigman looks really solid in the whoops, right up on top of those things. And now he's going to have an opportunity down the inside in this section. If he can get that pop triple clean enough, not quite, a little bit too high in the air. Oh, actually, Thomas kind of ran high in the corner right there. Here comes Holyhead, though, with the quad down the inside. Weigman doesn't know he's coming, or does he? Oh, he cuts back up underneath and makes a beautiful pass around Brett Thomas. So he was scoping that line out the entire time. Now Holyhead's got to try to make the pass as well on Thomas. These guys kind of marching forward through some of this field a little bit together. Oh, Thomas, a big mistake, and he's going to go down. So Holyhead shoots by. That's McLaughlin going through. See if Thomas picks it up, only loses a couple positions by the looks of it, as Marchini was coming back from off track right there on the 74th. So yeah, McLaughlin went by. Here's Holyhead still behind Weigman, who's up to third. Chwalik is right behind our race leader, Hayden Stevenson, who's still holding on to this thing. 5.5 minutes down. Still got about 30 seconds and a lap left to go. And Stevenson's done a great job leading, but I feel like Chwalik is just inching closer and closer, and it's only a matter of time before this battle really takes off.
Yeah, Chwalik made a mistake in that second to last rhythm, and then Stevenson made a mistake in the last rhythm. Look at how hard those guys are pushing. I feel like that's going to be a spot where there's going to be some big cartwheel crashes with people pushing their front end there. But Chwalik having a great ride here, showing some speed. It's crazy that third place battle was 10 seconds behind these guys. These guys are still so close going at it, showing some speed here tonight. But Chwalik, you can see, definitely has more speed. He's going to make the pass to the whoops. Gets a little sketchy, and he's going to go down.
Oh, and Stevenson hits him.
Down.
And Stevenson is the only one to go down. Chwalik actually stays up on two wheels. Unfortunate turn of events there for Stevenson, who's going to get that pass back with Chwalik going down. But now it's Chwalik taking the white flag out front as our race leader. Stevenson remounts. Oh, and Weigman down after the Supercross triple. Jet Holyhead goes by. I don't think there was any contact there. It looks like he maybe just cased the jump or OJ'd it and went down right after that Supercross triple. So Holyhead scoots on by up into third place, doing everything he can, try to match that performance out of our race winner in heat number 1 out of Seth Shirley. But right now, Chwalik in control on the final lap of this thing. Looks like he's going to button this thing up and take it home.
Yeah, 5-second lead for him, so he's got some room to play with. Look at him just finally able to settle down as he makes it to the first place position, but he's still showing so much speed. Just doesn't look as wild as he did. We'll see how he goes through this last section here with the whoops. See if he can ride it smooth. He does. He's going to get through. Man, huge whip there. Yeah. Super pumped. And he's going to take it home.
Yeah, Chwalik to the line, wins 250 heat number 2 tonight. So a good ride for him to come back and avoid that late crash that he had with Stevenson. To stay on two wheels and take the win. Stevenson gets upside down over the finish line jump. Holyhead ends up in third. Looks like Weigman's going to end up in fourth, as Nico Marchini going side by side to the line right there with McIntosh. McIntosh just going to get it by a nose. McLaughlin crosses in the seventh position. Brett Thomas in eighth. And Jeremy Schiabro looks like he's going to hold on to this final transfer spot in ninth. Not too close in the end, as Nick Niles falls out of the transfer spot. Ooh, Bodie Parker going to the LCQ. That's a name we normally see in those main events. Brandon Wolf, Ryan Anderson, Carl Novak, Jack Fowler, Colton Hansen, Tyler McGuire, Tucker Zimmerman, just to name a few. All those guys heading to that LCQ. Bit of a wild one in this one, but in the end, it is Chwalik who converts on the heat race victory and takes his number 38 Phil Ski and Snowboard Yamaha to the main event with what looks to be second gate pick based on TRT.
Yeah, Bodie Parker, man, he's definitely missed out. I feel like that's a name that he's comfortable in those 250 main events here. But yeah, just a little bit short. So he's going to be someone we're looking for in the LCQ as we move past and see all these guys and their sweet setups. We're able to bring it all together. Marchini with a good ride, McLaughlin as well, Brett Thomas, and then Schiabro just able to hold on, man. He's going to be able to regroup, though. Not going to have the best gate picks, so going to be interesting to see where he ends up off the start. But he's just got to be pumped to not be going to the LCQ here. He hasn't been his old self so far this year, but definitely still been a consistent main event guy who's used to being up inside the top 10 in the main event. So, man, just holding on right there, and that's good enough though. As long as your goal is to make it to the 450 main or 250 main and score some points here.
Yeah, it's weird to consider Schiabro a veteran of the class, but I guess that's what he is, right? I mean,
he's been around forever, I feel.
Well, I mean, he started racing 2 years after we were racing.
Maybe 15, 16 or something.
I feel like at one point he won a race in like 2016 or something like that. But yeah, he's definitely been around a little while compared to some of our other competitors. If you're completely confused about what's even happening right here, all of these players are racing from all over the world. We have riders from France, we have riders from the UK, we have riders from Australia and the Netherlands and Denmark, and you name it, there's probably someone from there, all racing against each other on this one server. So there is a little bit of lag, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But another thing to note is that the minimum age requirement for this series is 13 years of age. So everybody that's racing this is 13 years or older. Usually we see people in that like 16 to 19 year range in their peak years in this game, because someone will pick it up at 13 or 14 and then be good enough to be in this series by 16 or 17. But yeah, that's usually about the age range that we're seeing, unless you're a little bit of an older veteran like a Schiabro, who's probably in his early to mid 20s. Leclerc, I think, is in his mid 20s as well. So some guys up there in the age a little bit compared to our teenage riders out there, but kind of a mixed bag of everybody, and everybody playing from all over the world. It's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. It's hard as you get older, and you normally, depending on your life situation, have less time to play video games and kind of stay at the top, because it is challenging. It is really hard for these guys to stay at the peak, especially they're getting faster and faster. Like it's just ridiculous. You can people just lose it after a time. And new kind of techniques, new ways people are even setting up their suspension, setting up their kind of controls and stability in this game. It is a simulator, but people, just like real life, find a way to push it to the limits every time they kind of play the game. So really cool to see older names come out and people have great rides. I know in 250 East we saw Chromie almost win that main event last week and unable to hold on to it, but man, he's been around forever, and to see him still up there doing it was just insane. So a shout out to all the guys who are still making it work, and Leclerc is going to be coming up shortly here too. Not sure if he's going to be in Heat 1 or Heat 2, but he's a name that's been around forever and trying to battle with Payson Johnson and some of these younger guys that just put in so much time. Braden Carter, Leclerc, and Payson all in the same heat race. This is going to be freaking sick today. I'm so pumped for this.
Sick,
you were going through, I didn't know what was happening, but this is going to be a wild battle and basically probably a main event preview for us.
Yeah, top 3 in the championship, all in 450 heat number 1. That's what you get when you get a mixed bag in qualifying, especially when someone like Balzer shows up and tries to qualify and then puts himself right in the mix as well. So we're going to see, like you said, that main event preview coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And also a quick shout out in the chat. Someone asked if I'm going to Seattle this weekend and will I be there and will I see you? And yes, you will. I will be at Seattle this weekend, flying out early Friday morning. So I'll be there all weekend. Look forward to seeing you guys there as well. But now it's time for 450 Heat numeral uno here in Seattle. And I'm going to watch Bryce Wheelan off the start because we know he gets great starts. Might get another one here. Here we go. Main event preview time. 450 Heat 1's got them all.
Yeah, it looks like he got a good jump. Not going to be behind Leclerc, though. He doesn't maybe transfer to the 450 as well.
Look at all those Phil's Yamahas into the first corners. Tons of them as Leclerc gets the whole shot. Carter up the inside. Looks like he's going to come out in second, but maybe get passed by Jeremy Smith on the 4 around the outside. I think that's 78 of Hubbard also in the mix as well. No, 73 of Brandon Larson, their new recruit, just joining the team last week up there in the third, now fourth position because Carter got back by him. Carter's going side by side with Smith over the triple. Smith scrubs it down, but Carter still gets that pass done. So it's Leclerc over Carter. Jeremy Smith up in the third position. Larson, Eagland is in this one as well. Whelan, Seabolt, Heilman, Parks. So no sign yet of Johnson, who looks like he's in about 14th spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in this championship are all in this heat race, and right now Leclerc's leading them around.
Yeah, those Phil's bikes are something else, looking like the Star Yamaha team in real life there. I do like this triple quad here, reducing that section to 2 jumps there, but all of them funneling to the outside. So we'll see if the 450 class maybe switches it up and does develop some line where you can end up on the inside quickly. But great start by these two. I really liked Carter. If you noticed, we'll have to look out in the other heat in the main. He used a different line off the very first rhythm, and he was the only rider in about the top 5 to go to that inside So he didn't really have much traffic in that second or that first left-hand 90 turn that they go through. So he's right out in second place after not the best start, but still chasing down Leclerc, who's got some insane speed. And these guys, let's see what they threw out first time around.
Yeah, we haven't been on board with anybody here tonight, so no time is better than going on board with the champ here early on as he gets a little sideways on that triple. Still goes for it. Going to jump back on the track safely and soundly there, still in second place. You can see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen the absolute freight train of riders still right behind Carter here as Leclerc leads now by just about 2 seconds. 1.7 seconds is the gap. Going into the outside berm right here for Carter. This is a great perspective, though, to see what these guys see on the racetrack and what they're trying to deal with as they come into these corners, trying to find the optimal lines and still hit some of these big triple ins. Carter doing everything he can to bring this gap down, but they are just absolutely shredding right now.
Their corner speed is so insane. If you watch them, especially coming into those 90s after tripling in, they just are pushing the bike to the limit, and that's why you will see sometimes these guys do push their front. They do make mistakes because they're pushing everything in the physics of this game as far as they can go. Just sliding, getting some wheel spin so they can kind of drift around those corners. You saw the mistake by Carter here last time around. He's not going to make it now, and he's actually going to close up a little bit on Leclerc here as he dropped a 53.2 last lap, even after making some mistakes. But look how close he's gaining on him. These guys just have insane corner speed. And Leclerc is no slouch, so when you see Carter pulling up on him, you know he's throwing down a heater.
Yeah, I mean, this is first and second in the championship standings right now in reverse order. Leclerc leading over Carter, who is the championship leader. And you're just getting a taste of what these guys can do and how much of a gap they're already starting to put on the rest of the field as they battle each other. Carter is just absolutely ripping right now. Leclerc getting sideways, pogo sticks through the whoops, and down he goes. So Carter assumes the race lead here on lap 4, about halfway through this heat race. And finally, a mistake is had from one of our top two. Smith moves into second. That's how far out front they were, though. Leclerc only loses 2 positions and remounts still in third place.
Yeah, to do that 3.5 minutes into the race is just insane. I know they're on lap 5, but man, those guys just were checking out. Carter definitely threw down a heater lap time. Payson Johnson, to note, as it scrolls up on by the top, he is back in 18th place. Not sure what he's doing over there, but
yeah, this is this bad news. Whoa,
this is what he's doing.
Launching the finish line quad into that
pretty
corner
sick.
right there. Downsides it super easily as he goes up the inside. I think that's Crotty on the 59. But Johnson has some work to do. 17th place, 52.3 last time by, so he's absolutely shredding right now. Is he jumping to the inside right here? Look at that. Oh my gosh, almost teed up. Adam Holman teed him up anyway as Holm was sliding down the start straight. So Johnson continuing to run into some problems here. And this is so Payson Johnson right here to have to maybe go to this last chance qualifier. But hey, in the past, we've seen him go from LCQs and battle for the wins in the main events.
Yeah, it's hard to even talk about his approach that he's got going on. I mean, definitely looks like he's having fun, and showing speed. But
I'll see if he still goes for this quad. We'll look on board.
Yeah, this is something I would have done. I'm surprised they didn't put in a limiter right there, but those were always my favorite jumps. Whenever you could do it, you just find the right gearing to get it, and look at that, greases it again. 55.3 after running into Holm and making a little bit of a mistake. So throwing down some fast laps, but just not going to get it done. Always showing off, trying to push it to the limits, but doesn't get it done when you're racing for a championship.
So look at this. He's and he got it.
Yeah,
he's quadding the inside right there.
It's just being in 16th not that sick. So you gotta choose what's your favorite here. But Jeremy Smith, a leader change.
Oh yeah, change to the lead. You absolutely right on
past
that.
Leclerc.
Not sure what happened. Carter must have either gone down or slid out or something like that. Jeremy Smith just made another little mistake, so Carter's going to try to take advantage. He closes right back up on him. The 4 and the 1 machine on the racetrack right here. Look at this, Carter. He's trying that inside line now as well. He's just going to block Smith's line. Smith nearly comes to blows with him on the start straight. Smith is going to try to rip this outside line and hold it, and he does. Carter makes a small mistake. Now Smith almost goes down, and here comes Leclerc on the 7.
Yeah,
Leclerc tripling over top, moves into second place.
Yeah, Carter, I knew he was going to lose it there. A little bit of wheel spin and into the bales. You know, he's not comfortable going inside in that sand. He tried to make it work, I think, a little bit too early in the race for it to be broken down to where it can be faster. And it's just, when you see these guys switch lines that you know they aren't using consistently, it's hard to remember what it's like, you know, and how much you can actually trust your bike. So sometimes it's not worth going in a pass in one of those spots. And he does end up losing that spot, not able to make the pass, and then losing the other spot to Leclerc. But man, Leclerc on a run back up to the front here. I do like that. Oh, as we see
Smith down
frames it
with the race lead as he tosses it away. It is the last lap of the race, by the way. Time has expired, and the white flag is waving, so it has come down to Leclerc leading versus Carter in second as Smith throws it away on the last lap. And unless a big mistake out of Leclerc happens here, it looks like this is the 7 machines for the taking after everything that they went through in this thing. Somehow, Leclerc ends up back up front. Got 2 more corners left to navigate as he hops out on the start straight. Carter's trying to get this thing as close as he can. Maybe send one Hail Mary down the whoops one more time as Leclerc's kind of hopping. Carter's really
Carter's barking. He's going to get it.
Leclerc's off the track. Carter's just going to get it easily in the end because Leclerc jumped off the track. Carter wins 450 heat number 1. Leclerc's going to have to settle for second as he got sideways in the whoops. Eaglin gets all the way up to third in this one as Smith settles for 4th. Sullivan crosses the line. He'll pick up P5. Tyler Lang rolling through the corner there in 6th. Ethan Parks is just going to save it before the line and go across in 7th. B. Lars is going through in 8th. And Heilman on the 43 goes to the main event in 9th. Brandon Holmes misses out. Evan Holt, Enzo Butigny, James Ohashi, Bryce Whelan, Jeremy Siebold, Seth Crotty, Adam Holm, and Payson Johnson's going to the LCQ, folks, as he just breakdances all the way through the whoops.
Yeah, that was some great riding. I think even if Leclerc, if he just jumped to the right side of that triple jump there, I think he would have still made the pass up the inside. He had the run. Payson Johnson, though, 52.3, still slower than our race winner, Braden Carter, 52.1. So just goes to show you can go faster by showing off or by just kind of hitting your marks and insane corner speed and rhythm sections that Carter's doing. Doesn't need to do anything special. And I really love the preview that we got. We saw one big mistake, and that mistake at the end by Leclerc, and just a couple minor mistakes by Braden Carter throughout the race that made them pretty even, only a 0.3 second gap. So I'm really excited for this 450 main event.
Yeah, hopefully we get a rematch of those two, and just maybe perhaps Payson Johnson greases it through the LCQ and gives us something as well in that main event. I'd hate to not see the 51 machine in that main event a little bit later on tonight. Ooh, Carter going with a little quad double line. That's an option that these guys could consider using if that outside line breaks down later on in the main event. But Carter trying a couple things out. So far, so good for the champ as he goes through into the main event. And so far, we've seen both red plate holders winning their heat races to start off the nights here in the 250 and 450 divisions. We setting ourselves up for a boring night of racing, or are we going to see some good action here when we get to those main events?
I think some good action. I think we saw it between just Carter and Leclerc right there. If Payson gets through the LCQ and he wants to ride, he can definitely be up there. And Eaglin was only 5 seconds back there in that race. So just through one heat race, we're already seeing a lot of close action between these guys. And we still got a whole nother gate. 22 riders trying to put themselves. 9 of those are going to go through to the main event straight from this second 450 heat race of the night. So I think we're going to see some great racing here in both classes as we got some people trying to challenge in the 250 class and also stop Braden Carter's runaway in the 450 class as well.
We'll get a chance to see those guys a little bit later on, but now coming up is 450 heat number 2. Again, top 9 riders transfer through to the main event. They go 6 minutes plus a lap. And at the end of the checker flag waving, there are 9 riders going through to the main event and a bunch of other people not going to the main event. They'll have to go to that last chance qualifier where they will meet Payson Johnson, who is going to the line with probably outside gate pick in that one as he ended up 18th in that heat race. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets his start in that LCQ as well. And we're about to find out who his fellow competitors will be in that LCQ and see which of these competitors will make it into the main event here shortly. So final heat race coming up here at Seattle. Then we'll be done with heat racing action, roll right onto those last chance qualifiers. And then, of course, our main events coming up a little bit later on tonight. That's where the points are paid. That is where the money is earned, as they say. And we'll see who comes out as the winners in the 250 and 450 classes later tonight. Want to give a shout out to MotoOption Clothing for being the title sponsor of this series for the 12th year running of AMA Esports Supercross in MX Simulator. So thanks, MotoOption Clothing, as well as the supporting sponsors, Underground RC, Philski and Snowboard, and Race Tech Suspension, all on board with the RaceFactoryGaming.com crew over the years, giving the support, making these events happen. So we appreciate their help at putting these events on. All right, 450 heat number 2 on the gate, getting ready to go as they're on their parade lap, I should say. Who we got in this one? Chase Blakely, Thomas Sunis, McLaughlin, Balzer, our second fastest qualifier ends up in this one. Bear, Pachone, Padani, Holiak. We got a lot of East riders in this one. Matthias Janis, Caden Speck, and Hubbard. So it seems like out of the heavy hitters, maybe Balzer from his qualifying time, Jacob Hubbard, another guy in the mix here. Might just be a little bit of an oddball heat race, though, because none of the real title contenders are in this one to speak of. So we'll see who gets that whole shot. Who comes out through the first corner in the race lead as the 30 card goes sideways. We'll focus on Nick Thomas-Sunis as we rev up and drop the gate. 450 Heat 2 is underway.
Oh, Hubbard made a mistake there.
Balls are down the inside. Looks like he's going to get it on that 35. Maybe get pushed a little bit wide. It was Gerst on the 42. So again, so many of these 250 East guys dropping down, ending up out here in this heat race for the 450 class. And Balzer leads them early. Blakely second. Caleb Hall is down, or was getting around a rider going down, I should say, on the start straight right there. Some more chaos in the background going through that 90-degree corner as everybody funnels in on this first lap. It is all Rasmus Balzer out front. And whew, looks really good with that tire tap.
Yeah, I would love to see Balzer go out here and win this after the speed that he's shown in the 250 class. Only able to put it together once, but man, he's just got some great speed. And after that great start, you got Chase B behind you, and then Ethan Gerst, who we've seen him be a little bit sketchy. Maybe the 450 kind of tones him down a little bit, a la RJ Hampshire. See if he can kind of keep it under control here. But Balzer, what a great start. Hopefully he can keep it under control there in the sand first lap around. It is tricky. But looking great so far here. It just looks super comfortable. It doesn't look like he's pushing at all, which kind of how the 450 lets you ride.
Well, we know Balzer has always been very fast on this game, whether it's a 250 or 450, but he finally clicked off a couple wins in succession earlier this year in that 250 East division. So perhaps he's finally figured out the winning recipe for success and can carry it into this 450 class here tonight. That would be fun to see another fresh face get in the mix between Leclerc, Johnson, Carter, Eagland, everybody up there. And suddenly Rasmus Balzer says, hello, friends. I would like to win this main event as well. Chase Blakely settling in for second place. Gerst, Hall, Janis up inside the top 5. There is Hubbard on the 78 with Bear in 7th. Padani 8th and Speck in 9th. So yeah, definitely a little bit more of an open heat race in this one. And it's not over for some of these guys as we got a rider down. That's Hall. He's going to lose transfer spot as well as going through. Noah McLaughlin makes it through on the 47. He's got Nicky T, Thomas Sunis right behind him. Devin Davis also in the mix. Someone going backwards on the track right there, almost looping his Larry. This is now the battle for the final transfer spot as Thomas Sunis. How did neither rider go down
sick.
right there? Caden Speck looks like, huge stack up on the inside right
Padani,
there.
I think.
Trying to get, the who's down right there. That's Padani and someone just getting tossed around like a wet salad back there. Austin Bear getting kicked around. Castellaneta with the backflip to double pitch to chest. He goes down. Someone just got teed up in that corner.
Bear and
dude.
Rockefeller.
Oh my goodness.
He just killed a man.
Is that Brick, man? He killed a man out here. Oh my goodness, it's absolute chaos in this heat race right now. Back to the transfer spot though. Caleb Hall has found his way into it. He's chasing these 3 riders right ahead of him. Got a little bit of a gap behind him. So up in front of him, Devin Davis, McLaughlin, Caden Speck. McLaughlin, now he goes down. That's going to give a transfer spot to Aaron Rockefeller, who goes forward on the 93, and no one wants to stay in a transfer spot right now. It's musical chairs out there.
Yeah, I got to watch out for Rockefeller after what he did in that 90. I don't think he did it on purpose, but someone got sent to the ground real quick. Rockefeller on a charge here. He's got a little bit of a gap between Logan Leitzel, who's out there, who's behind him. Does he have number 3?
Yeah.
Really?
Fjellberg lost it, so Leitzel, after winning the 250 national championship last year, collected the number 3 machine this year.
I think I missed that last year. Wasn't able to focus too much on these races, but man, he's out there trying to put it in real life Supercross mains, and he's out here trying to qualify for this RF main right now. A little bit of he's probably on the road or something in a hotel room right now on some internet because it's looking a little bit sketchy here. But hopefully he can keep moving forward and doesn't let that kind of mess with him. Might actually even be an advantage, but he is on the outside looking in, following closely behind Rockefeller and Speck, and another small little group right in front of him. So it's 4 riders, 9, 8, 7, and 6 right there in his sights.
Got that risky Butte, Montana McDonald's internet going for Leitzel as he lays it down. Tyron Tomic back racing with us this week is going to go on by. So Tomic making a move forward here. He has now found his way up into 10th as this battle for the final transfer spot is heating up. Rockefeller maybe trying to make a pass here around the outside of Devin Davis. Triples to the outside, gets it done. And look at this. Jumping to the outside, Tomic through the tough blocks. Davis just a sit and duck, goes inside into the whoops. It was a weird defense there from Davis, and Tomic is just going to shoot right into that final transfer spot. Try leaves over the Supercross triple as, into the back tire goes Rockefeller, and then Tomic goes flipping over the front of him. Leitzel's going to be gifted the final transfer spot as Davis goes up into P8, and these guys still shuffling around back here as Leitzel deals with that rough internet.
Yeah, I feel like these guys it feels so open in this heat, with such a stacked 450 Heat 1. These guys feel like it's anyone's kind of battle, and it's kind of been that way. Some gaps more around third, like second to fourth, and the fifth on back to ninth. So these guys kind of doing whatever they can do. The top three of Hubbard, Balzer, and Blakely starting to get away a little bit.
Yeah, that's a change for the lead, actually. Hubbard has just snuck up and taken over this thing. Not sure what happened to Balzer. He fell back behind Blakely, but now he's back on the charge. He just got a round chase Blakely again for second. 52.9 to a 53.5 last time by. So Balzer trying to put the pressure on the 78 machine of Hubbard. Let's see if he can do it here in the closing stages of this one. Only 30 seconds left on the clock. Can Balzer close this thing down? Yeah,
Balzer's ripping right now. I mean, only a couple people in the 52s in that first 450 heat race. So, and then we see how some of these ruts are starting to develop a little bit deeper. We'll see it again as we come into the sand. This is like a wall. It does give away here. You get so close to the bales. You're riding that edge, but man, these guys have to throw down these lap times. So only 2 seconds to the lead right now. If he can keep it going, makes a couple mistakes there, loses a couple tenths. But Balzer is still pushing all the way to the white flag, almost gains back all the time he just lost in about one little straightaway. So, and these guys are absolutely ripping right now.
Yeah, white flag is coming out, and Hubbard just cased that Supercross triple. Time just expired, so the white flag is now waving there on the right side of your screen. Balzer trying to close this down on Hubbard. Final lap of the race for the win in 250 heat number 2 at Seattle. Jacob Hubbard, number 78, Phil Ski and Snowboard Yamaha, ahead of Rasmus Balzer, Yannick and Rasmus, number 35, Kawasaki. Who's going to get it done? Will it be the rider out of Michigan on the 78 or the rider out of Denmark on the 35?
Yeah, this battle closing up so nice. A couple changes in our 3, 4, 5 spot. Blakely dropping back to 5th. But the battle that we're watching right now is right here. Can Balzer do it? Hubbard's got about 3/4 of the track to go, maybe about half the track, and there's going to be a little bit of a close-up by Balzer there, but this is where Balzer's been really fast. He doesn't go all the way outside. Let's see what he can do down the whoops. We've only got about 1.5 sections to go. Let's see what happens here coming in the last corner.
Balzer charged in, lap traffic in the way. Who's going to get it? Balzer's going to cut down to the inside. He went deep. He took Hubbard out. Hubbard's stuck in the Davalos bales. He's trying to get going, but Hubbard will retain the race lead and win 450 heat number 2 just by a nose. Janis is going to get Balzer at the line, who flips off the side of the finish line jump. Gerst ends up in 4th. Hall will pick up a 5th place finish in this one. Leitzel got all the way to 6th. Nicely done for him. Blakely off the track, going to go back to 7th place right there. Gotta be careful not to get taken down by that rough internet. As Tomic goes through in 8th, and Padani makes it through in 9th. Caden Speck just misses out. Devin Davis, McLaughlin, Castellaneta, Pichon, Rockefeller, Thomas Sunis, Carson West, Austin Bear, Trent Adams, Holiak, all missing out as well. Whew, that got a little bit gnarly right down the stretch there.
Yeah, a couple guys missing out that were up there early. Rockefeller, Devin Davis, kind of going to be bummed that they kind of had those races thrown away a little bit. Jacob Hubbard, though, after not the best start, he was still up there, but not a whole shot like we normally see from him. Able to kind of work his way through and put down some consistent and fast laps to get up there and hold on to the number 1 position. You want to shout out Chase Blakely, too. He dropped all the way back to 8th, but he rode so much of that race up in the 2nd place position. He has definitely had a hard year so far in this championship, missing mains, not really having the speed. So good to see him kind of put on a great performance here. Or it looks like he might have got 7th on cuts.
No, he finished 7th and got 8th
on cuts. So, but good to see him. He's out of the server, going to go throw down some hot laps or practice or take a breather, maybe eat some dinner. But some of these guys here, man, that was a fun race because it's so many people we don't get to see normally battling for positions that they're not normally in. They're not used to battling for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in heat races even. So that stacked first heat kind of led us into a very fun 2nd heat race in this 450 class that we don't normally get to watch.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys from the 250 East class as well, dropping down, kind of mixing in with these 450 regulars that don't always get a chance to battle up front. So certainly a very interesting heat race. And sets us up with Hubbard going through out of this one. Likely going to the gate 2nd then behind his teammate Braden Carter, who won that first heat race. But man, so far tonight, all fills in this 450 class. Carter and Hubbard, both teammates winning their heat races. Leclerc finishing 2nd in his. and then just a ton of Phil's guys also making the main event. It's just a Phil ski and snowboard kind of night here in Seattle. They're probably already out there shredding waves on their new Phil's surfboards.
I mean, it's hard not to kind of take over the class when you got like 10 people on your team, but like, just more a la Star Racing, you know, you're like, how many dudes do they have on their team? 11? What's going on? But I mean, hey, you can go out there and be a team that everyone wants to ride for. You know, they got a great look to them and they got so many great riders. So cool to see all them kind of picking up new faces as we moved on throughout the year, but also just consistently putting in good results. So always fun to see a team like that dominate. But then also when you're on another team, you want to get your guy in there and kind of mixing it up a little bit, as we see from some of those other guys. But like Payson Johnson, when he would throw it in a little bit, getting a different team up in there, breaking up that top three in the championship. But man, LCQ time. Are you ready, Kellen? Are you ready? This is our favorite.
I was born ready.
Did I get you in a yawn right there too?
No, I'm good. We're good.
Okay.
We're keeping it awake.
We're born
It's
ready.
been a busy week.
Always. Same for me. Me. I cannot wait. 250 class. They've been off for 5-6 weeks or something. We've been watching the 250 East guys. They come in. They missed going straight to the main in the LCQ. And you know they're sitting there like, I need to get this done. So I think this is going to be a lot of pent-up aggression, just like we see at the first round when they debut on East and West. These guys are coming back and they want to put it back in the main event. You don't want to miss out after such a long break.
Yeah, these guys are about to go Super Saiyan and try to take each other out to make it into this main event. It's going to be unbelievable. Only 4 riders go through out of this 5-minute plus 1 lap race. And we see pretty much a full gate in both classes here tonight. So we're set up for some great last chance qualifier action out of this one. And there's only going to be 4 guys making the main event, man. Going to be a lot of people unhappy after this one. But will you be the one that leaves happy or unhappy heading to that main event? Looking down the order, we got Estrella, Fisher, Hockey, Briscoe, Thorson, Hansen, Novak, Schaefer, Bowser, Bridges, Niles, Wolf, Parker, Anderson, Smith, Fowler. Pick your favorite, folks, because 4 of them are going through to the main event. And I don't even know who the heck is the favorite in this one. This is going to be absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't even know. These guys, they show so much speed and so much craziness. I know it's the sight lap, but you see so much of that where we got guys just cartwheeling through rhythm sections. They're in a position they're not used to, and they're trying to push so hard, and you know, maybe not as many hours into the game as we see from a lot of other people. But Tanner Thorson, definitely, he's been in mains before, so he's going to be trying to push up there. But man, this class is going to be a beauty, and I cannot wait for the gate to drop on these guys here. It's going to be a SHIT show for sure, which is my favorite way to have the LCQs. This is where we got to warm up our voices so we can get screaming.
Well, we always say it's the best racing of the night. It usually delivers. So if you're joining us just now here for round 11 of MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross from Seattle, you joined us at a great time, folks. Last chance qualifiers coming up. Only 4 riders go to those main events out of the 250 and 450 classes, respectively. Starting off with the 250 LCQ. And, well, we saw some absolute murders in those 90s during the heat races. I think some people might get murdered in this one as well, because there's going to be no prisoners in this one. Everyone is going for those 4 spots at all costs. Doesn't care if it's your grandmother. You're putting them over the berm if you're going to try to make that main event here tonight in Seattle. So let's figure it out. Who's going to be those 4 riders going to the main event? We'll take a look at Jeremy Estrella in the middle of the gate. Here's a list of riders. Here we go, racing 250 LCQ time in Seattle. Off the start, down the inside. Maybe Estrella's going to try to get there. Oh, big contact. Someone got absolutely sauced in the first corner. Daniel Irvine picks up the whole shot. Briscoe's up here. We got Juan Gomez tripling through. He's going to pull up alongside Timmy Briscoe. Brandon Wolf also's got a good start. Trying to make it through clean through these first couple corners. Don't want to get mixed up as one of the riders goes down on the back of the TSCZ Productions ride, hitting the deck in the background, and everybody trying to get through these whoops. It's going to be treacherous in this LCQ as everybody shuffles through. Pretty good so far. Oh, stands up. Ryan Anderson going down by Tanner Thorson. Front 4, Irvine, Briscoe, Gomez, and Wolf right now. Trying to make it a little bit more easy on these guys by getting a good advantage early on, opening up that gap in the background. But you just never know with these LCQs. You got to stay up on 2 wheels.
Yeah, we only saw 3 guys go down in the first lap. I definitely had the over on that one. Really surprised by that. Not as much craziness as we saw. And those guys who got that first rhythm section off of the start, that's going to be so important as we even move into the 450 race. They want to separate themselves. But look at this, Wolf and Thorson. Thorson's showing some speed here. Always a little bit all over the place, but look at that. We got a rider going down, so that's going to be one easy way. That's how you want to pass. Gomez looks like he clipped and might have just went over the bars and rolled over. That's how you want to make passes in the LCQ. You don't want to have to push them and actually make the pass yourself. It's so much easier when the guy just goes cartwheeling out of your way. You just don't want him to do it right in front of you. Another rider goes down, though.
Brandon Wolf?
Brandon
Wolf. Brandon Wolf, who was
He's
in a transfer spot. So Jack Fowler right here on the 704 is going to go into the 4th and final transfer spot, and he has got a freight train of riders built up behind him. Kyler Hockey, Juan Gomez, Tyler McGuire, Estrella, Bridges, they're all right there chasing down the 704.
Yeah, Jack Fowler, that is one hell of a setup right there. Takes the words out of my mouth every time I see it. But hey, if you're going to be riding around in the transfer spot, doesn't matter what you look like as long as you're getting yourself into the main event. But still a lot of riders right behind him that want to get that spot back. And this race is not even halfway over so far. So these guys need to be consistent. Look at that. A little bit sketchy getting onto that, but he's going to get through the rhythm section cleanly. But man, these guys just, they ride, I feel like, so on the edge. It feels like anything can happen at any given time, especially when you got Kyler Hockey behind him. You know he's got some speed. Using the inside, I don't really like in the whoops, but Fowler messing them up himself.
Wow, Fowler was all over the gap in that whoop section, left and right, up and down, and then through. Not the cleanest looking whip I've ever seen off the Supercross triple, as he still holds the final transfer spot. That's all that matters at this time. And the race is up the inside, goes to 700 of Tyler McGuire, pushing Kyler Hockey out. Hockey with a triple inline I haven't seen hardly anybody do all night. Still settles in right behind, though, because it's a 3-3-2 versus a 2-3-3 option. Now triple quad to the outside of McGuire. This is all just a battle for 5th, though. They're trying to get to Fowler as Hockey cuts back up underneath, moves into 5th spot. This is all the while allowing Jack Fowler to kind of sneak away a little bit, though, while these guys go back and forth with each other.
Yeah, McGuire, who's behind? McGuire had such a clean pass there. It looked like he just wanted to get on with it and get out of the way, get past Hockey, but Hockey gets it back, and Gomez, after getting off the ground, wants to keep pushing. The quicker you can get by these guys, the more you can stay on your own race. And stay is we're going to see Hockey go down in the whoop, so that's going to let McGuire actually hits him and goes down. Oh, man.
McGuire just body slammed him.
Yeah.
And McGuire went down himself. Jeez, these guys are all over the place in the whoops right there. So Schaefer, Zimmerman go by. There's Bodie Parker, Ryan Anderson, Gomez. Still Jack Fowler in this final transfer spot, doing a great job on his inverted relic Honda. 704 machine out there just cruising. But he's got to worry because these guys are starting to close back in a little bit. He had that breathing room after those mistakes. But Gomez is starting to tee him up here a little bit. And we'll see if something happens with the 219 machine versus the 704.
Yeah, Gomez is ripping after coming back from that mistake that sent him over the berm all on his own. Let's see what he can do. They're both going to elect for the double quad there, but Fowler's going to miss it, so Gomez is going to go by. He goes a little bit long, a different rhythm. He's probably hasn't been hitting, but he's going to stay cleanly in 4th place. So now Fowler's on the outside looking in, trying to chase back down. Gomez got a lot of speed, but does he make another mistake that we saw before?
Yes,
and there it is.
And Fowler just misses him. I don't know how Fowler didn't clip him going by. Ryan Anderson has to check up and double the Supercross triple, so Fowler survives another attack. Schaefer, Gomez picking himself up. Brandon Wolf still right there. Right now, Fowler's starting to look a little bit better off in the position that he's in. Only has a few guys that are going to be right behind him. It's really about staying on those 2 wheels. Our leaders, Timmy Briscoe still, with Daniel Irvine in 2nd, Tanner Thorson in 3rd. All eyes on Jack Fowler. I think more than just because he's in that final transfer spot, it's because his wheels are absolutely shining at us right now. But he's in that 4th spot trying to hold on, and he keeps making these little mistakes here and there that are allowing Ryan Anderson into the picture here as we close down. White flag's going to be waving this time by.
Yeah, crazy he can keep it on 2 wheels when it looks like he's riding on cotton candy there. Ryan Anderson, though, pushing a little bit, but he's actually going to have a little bit of trouble from behind. But, hey, that's 2 guys that could come up and capitalize if you make a mistake, but also 2 guys that can get into each other as they're going to be side by side. That was Fowler down at the side of the whoops. I think he's the only person with that much pink on his bike.
But
no, maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe that was a Schaefer's teammate, someone with a little pink in their gear, throwing us off there. So, man, these guys are still chasing on the outside looking in. Can Fowler hold on to it? The battle out front is just completely checked out, those 3 guys. So this is all we're kind of looking at. Austin Schaefer needs to be the one to get up there and make a move.
Yeah, Schaefer looks like he was able to work his way through into this 5th position, making that pass on Ryan Anderson. Now it's up to him in these final few corners to close this gap down. Jack Fowler shaking in his boots right now. He is going to have the pressure from behind. They both triple onto the table just fine. Triple off, or step off, I should say. Triple into the corner. Fowler's got to go defensive. He's got to cut that line off, and he doesn't do it. Schaefer hops over top.
Kill him.
Winning up front. He's going to kill him. He's down the inside. Oh, he takes him out.
He does a barrel through a barrel roll.
He barrel rolls. Ryan Anderson clips going into the whoops. I think he's going to make that pass stick. Fowler is trying to fight back. Anderson made the pass and is going to hold it into this final corner. Ryan Anderson gets the gift of all gifts to go to the main event, and Jack Fowler just misses out.
Who knew sitting in 6th place? You're in the catbird seat there. I knew it was good to be one of the guys there. Oh my goodness, heartbreak right there. I do like the move, just got a little bit caught up, and the way he fell on him just threw him into a spiral, but man, that was wild there. It is kind of close though, 1.38 seconds though, so we will have to keep an eye on cuts as we see what happens here. Look in the top left corner to see if that 124 and 704 flip spots there as we get these guys crumbing across the line. We got 2 more riders to go. Let's see what happens here. They stay the exact same.
Wow, so Irvine takes the win in this one. We didn't really talk about him much because he's out front with Timmy Briscoe, who ends up in 2nd. Thorsten picks up 3rd in this one, and Ryan Anderson is going to the main event. He looks stoked. The Lansford Motorsports number 124 ride. Bike humping down the straightaway, going to the main event tonight in Seattle.
Yeah, he's super pumped to be there. It's when you get a gift like that, it's awesome. And I mean, God, Jack Fowler too. I've been there so many times. You are so scared. You're shaking, heart rate's high, your hands are sweaty. You know, mom spaghetti, all that stuff. So really awesome for Anderson to come through. I feel bad too for Briscoe. I honestly didn't even know he was up there. Shout out to him. Great ride. But man, when it's these LCQs, sometimes it's all you can do is you got a couple guys checked out up front. And all you can do is, they were 8 seconds between 3rd and 4th, and then that awesome battle throughout the whole race. So congrats to everyone who qualified, transferred through into the main event there. And we get to do it all again with the 450 LCQ. And these guys, they're even faster. They're even gnarlier. There's going to be some bigger takeouts, maybe more on purpose, less from just cartwheeling, but it's going to be a great race. I can't wait.
Well, the big elephant in the room in this LCQ coming up is on the very outside gates will be one Payson Johnson, who did not make it through his heat race, finished 18th in his heat, and now goes to this 450 LCQ against a bunch of guys that are just trying to make the main event. And Johnson's already won a few main events this year, hoping he goes straight to the main event out of this one to have a chance to make another win here tonight in Seattle. I mean, for him, it's just whole shot or die, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. If he's starts 12th, he can just make it through. But he's had trouble around some of those guys. He has so much speed that I think, maybe he does have to get a top 3 start, because the speed and the rhythms that he does, he's just not used to riding around people so much slower than him. And I think besides when we see him messing around, that's when we see him kind of blow up. Is he's back riding with people he's not used to riding around. You put him around Leclerc and Carter, he's totally comfortable. But if you're 2 seconds off of him, he really struggles, doesn't really have the racecraft to kind of stay away and, maybe pull back some of the lines that he's doing to ride cleanly to the front. So going to be interesting to see where he ends up here. He does have a pretty bad gate pick, but he's a great starter. He's going to be up there for sure, I would say.
Well, how much in real life we obviously see when there's a factory bike in an LCQ, they tend to pull other riders pretty easily off the start. Johnson being as good as he is, do we expect that he out jumps everybody in this LCQ?
Yeah, I think so. It's maybe not even their reaction time, but the technique, because that was always my thing. I could whole shot. I remember 2013 outdoors, I whole shotted so much. I basically knew one of the 2 motos I was going to get a whole shot or be top 2. But then as the game started to develop, people figured out technique. And so you didn't even have to have the reaction time. It was all about what you're doing, how your bike's set up, your gearing, all of that. So even if he gets a bad jump from the outside, he's one of those guys who can just pull these guys with his technique. So
technique.
He can technique. he can do it from anywhere. And if he's dude, he probably set himself on the 22nd gate pick just for fun, and he'll still pull it by 2 bike lengths. That's what he does. But yeah, I would say no problem that Payson Johnson, if he wants to, is going to get a top 3 start here.
All right, well, we'll see if it happens or if somebody else will jump into this first corner first, come out with the race lead. Here's a look at who is going to the line in the 450 last chance qualifier. Of course, there is Payson Johnson, Enzo Butigni, Aaron Rockefeller, Austin Bear, Carson West, Jeremy Siebold, Jaden Wilson, Sonny Spicer, Devin Davis, Evan Holt, Brandon Holmes, Braden Castellaneta, Caden Speck, Bryce Whelan, Noah McLaughlin, Anthony Pachone, Trent Adams, James Ohashi, Seth Crotty. So you've got a Supercross champion in Jeremy Siebold. You have a reigning 450 motocross champion in Payson Johnson, and you have the current points leader and reigning 250 East Supercross champion Bryce Whelan, all in this LCQ. Low-key, kind of stacked LCQ. It's going to be tough pickings for some of these other guys to try to make the main event if those guys are on it.
Dude, I think these 250 East guys that moved up, like Seth Crotty, they showed so much speed too, and if they get a good start, yeah, there's no gimmies for everyone. Even if you're someone named Payson Johnson, you know, if I saw Leclerc or Carter in here after a dominant showing in their first heat race, I would still be worried about their ability to get through. These people, everyone in here is, pretty much won races, gotten podiums, or been great in the 250 class so far this year. So, yeah, it's going to be, it feels like it's anyone's race so far. This start is going to be very important to a lot of people who feel like they should be up there.
All right, we'll see what happens as we get a restart here in just a moment for this one. The guys are out just doing their little reconnaissance laps, checking out the track one more time before we go racing here tonight for the 450 last chance qualifier in Seattle. Well, it's crunch time for everybody here on the gate. We're going to look at Johnson on that outside to see if he makes it happen, or will somebody else from the inside out jump him. Here we go, final race before the main event. It's the 450 LCQ from Seattle. Johnson he's down halfway down the start straightaway. Wow, he got cleaned out halfway down by someone going down right next to him. So through the first corner first was one of the Phil's Yamahas. Evan Holt had the lead but goes down. So it is going to be Speck down the inside. Holmes goes to the race lead on the 71. Speck almost jumps on his back fender right there. Wow, look at that. Caden Speck down the inside makes the inside line in the whoops work as they go side by side off of the triple. They're rubbing number plates going into the corner, but it is Speck leading from Holmes, Ohashi, and Castellaneta inside of that top four. Johnson's got a load of work to do.
Yeah, and Speck, man, that inside line, that's the first time I've seen it work going into the whoops right there. He carried so much speed, just apexed it perfectly. But these four right here, they got to stay on two wheels. All of those riders that we were seeing go down throughout the first lap, that's just people that are helping Payson Johnson there. So that's good news as we see another pile up back there. As long as Payson's not in it, every single rider you see going down is helping that charge from the late, from the guys in the back there. But this top four right now, man, they are training. And if they can just play it smart and keep it this way for the rest of the race, they're going to see themselves all moving through, and you know that's where they want to be. You don't get a start like this as an LCQ, and James Ohashi just trying to throw it away on purpose. It seems like, no, he wouldn't do that, but
goes down.
Collects it. That's
Speck. Speck was using that inside line, and he goes down. Jane Wilson goes down. Adam Holm, McLaughlin. Oh, and another rider, Ohashi, down before the finish line jump. So a small mistake, not a big fall-off crash. Don't know if he lost a transfer spot. He didn't. He's actually fourth. So Holmes, Castellaneta, Spicer, and then Ohashi are our transfer spots for the time being. Bryce Whelan is in 21st place, ladies and gentlemen. So it looks like he is not going to the main event tonight here in Seattle in the 450 class. Where is Payson Johnson? I've not seen the 51 machine scrolling across the top of our screen just yet. Really 17th. Oh, rough look.
I think he did get caught up in that pileup. We saw 2 sections before the start straight there. And so many guys going down up front. He's really missing a gift right now. You got to be able to get through cleanly. But just like we said, man, these guys do not care. They want to move their way through as we see Ohashi get past there super close to him. And Noah McLaughlin also chasing as well. So these guys on the outside looking in as we come here through the whoops. Adam Holm chasing right behind him. They're going to go across. I think these guys are back in 6th or 7th place here as we see across the top. Holmes, Castellaneta, Ohashi, Sonny Spicer. So no, Noah McLaughlin is just one outside looking in with Adam Holm right behind him. Adam Holm been there before. He's a veteran of this class. So good to see him right there. So these two, you know, if you're in that 3 or 4 spot right there, you are not feeling safe from McLaughlin and Holm right behind you. These guys are pushing. We are only we're not even 3 minutes into this race so far. So McLaughlin has so much time, and I think, honestly, he's just going to sit back here, ride smooth laps, and wait for someone to go down as we see a rider go down right there. That was
a,
not
a rider from the other lane. I couldn't see who it was there on our screen. So Holmes still leads, Castellaneta second, Ohashi third, Spicer now up in that fourth and final transfer spot with McLaughlin still right behind him. Adam Holm trying to stay close as Spicer goes off the track, rejoins.
And back off the track.
Triple. Yeah, just back off the track again. So McLaughlin moves by. Payson Johnson's up to ninth, but he's still got a lot of ground to cover as he enters the whoops right here. So he's charging. He's trying to push forward as he hops through those whoops. He's got to get 2 more corners, basically, to be in the spot for the final transfer
He's so
position.
far, though.
And, he's still going this quad over the finish line jump. Risky, but actually still greasing it every single lap. 53.2, so he's going quite a bit faster than the other guys, but now he just made a huge mistake. Front end tuck going into that rhythm section. Somehow pops the triple back on from off track and is going to go down on Aaron Rockefeller's rear tire.
Yeah, I think that's it for him unless something crazy happens up here. In front of him, Spicer down, but still gonna.
So Holm is up into fifth. He's trying to catch McLaughlin. I mean, if these guys get together, you just never know. I mean, this could be.
Rider down. Who is that? Is that Lapper? Is that
lapped rider by the looks of it?
They all look the same. I'm not gonna lie.
It's Seabold actually. So that. Yeah, he just quadded the finish line jump. That's Jeremy Seabold. Wow, and he takes out
Seabold, you are in trouble.
Wow.
Can't
so
be doing
McLaughlin
that.
goes from being in a 4th place position and the 2020 Supercross champion Jeremy Seabold just messing around well out of a transfer spot, just took him out. That's going to be a huge L for the 10 machine, who's still getting in the way of these guys. Sonny Spicer just went down on his rear tire, actually. So Seabold's better off just getting off the track at this point in time, or else he's going to be sitting out till Nationals at this point as these guys continue to battle. I mean, Johnson's made some passes because of Seabold getting involved here. Spicer just went down again. Johnson's up to 8th, and 4th is, well, on the start straight, Adam Holm. I don't know, man. This is starting to fall a little bit more in the favor of Johnson, but now white flag is waving, actually. So Holmes with the lead on the last lap. Castellaneta, they're in 2nd. McLaughlin is in 3rd. Or actually, Adam Holm just moved into 3rd. McLaughlin is 4th. Ohashi, Crotty, Holt, and then Johnson. Johnson's going to do everything he can. He's got the transfer spot kind of right in front of him. You can see it 4 positions ahead of him. It's going to be very nip and tuck here.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the speed to get close, but you still gotta ask for a couple mistakes as he gets a gift right there. Case in the triple out. Case in the triple in. OTB all over the place. Is that another rider going long? I don't know if that was another one in that corner, but he is now up to 6th position. So he sees 5th, 4th, and 3rd right in front of him. There is blood in the water. This is going to be insane right here.
Ohashi and McLaughlin are going at it for 4th.
With the Lapper as well. Someone's down.
Wait, we got riders down off the track up there. Johnson's going to pass his way through down the inside. I feel like Jeremy Seabold got way too involved in this one for sure. Not sure if he's helping Johnson on purpose or what, but Johnson is actually going to survive and get 4th in this LCQ, just ahead of Ohashi, or just behind Ohashi. McLaughlin, Holm, a bunch of guys went down there right at the flag, and I feel like I saw the 10 machine right in the mix with those guys. I don't know about that. That was a little bit over the top, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if the fact that they're teammates right there, that's
well, they're not teammates, I don't think, but
yeah, maybe friend. I don't know about the KTMs, but it's just such a bummer to be going out there. You're not in the race and kind of just doing the same thing. And just kind of ruining the race. I'm surprised he was even still circulating and didn't just pull out instantly after that. Just a real bummer to miss that by 3.2 seconds after that happening to you. And then Payson, got through. He was charging 51.8 in that race, but still just a real bummer for someone to be in that position and get taken out when you have no control over anything like that. So
yeah, I mean, McLaughlin got absolutely landed on basically because Seabold was quadding the finish line jump as a lapped rider and continued to be right in the fight. I saw the 10 machine a lot down that final straightaway while those guys were dicing through the whoops trying to battle each other. Johnson in the mix as well. I mean, it's just it is what it is. That's MX Simulator Racing. You're going to have immature kids at all stages of the race, including a Supercross champion like Jeremy Seabold. And instead of getting off the track as a lapped rider in an LCQ that he wasn't going to make, he decided to get involved. And, yep, that's the way it happens sometimes. So, unfortunately, yep, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I mean, age doesn't equal maturity, so just kind of a really bummer, but hopefully the rules, committee will take appropriate action right there. It really sucks. I mean, if they could put 23 on the gate, it would be cool to see McLaughlin in kind of a spot I feel like he earned. Had a great ride there tonight. Just a bummer to see him missing out. Shout out to him, though, for the great ride tonight. If he doesn't get to race in this main event, it would be a stretch, I feel like, to see him in there. But great ride so far. Going to give props to him and everyone else who's out there, racing fun and racing clean.
Yeah, so even Devin Davis in chat says, Carson West waited on start and punted me wide open. Seabolt was cutting the track to punt me mid-race. Welcome to RF, ladies and gentlemen. So $5 donation. Thank you, Devin Davis. But, you got people in chat right now saying, watch replay back. 10 didn't cause those crashes. But
he definitely caused that one.
He landed
the one that
on
we
top
saw.
of McLaughlin while McLaughlin was in a transfer spot. So, that's just basically straight up blindness for some people in the chat room right now. But unfortunate that it ends that way. Hopefully, maybe McLaughlin gets in anyway, because there's a lot of people that were really unhappy with that situation going on. And McLaughlin ends up missing out by 3 seconds in the end. Payson Johnson, incredible ride from him to come all the way back to even be in a position to maybe make that transfer spot, because he was down on the start, down halfway around the second lap, right on that rhythm section. Yeah, a lot of people were definitely making things tough for Johnson early on with those crashes, but he did come back and he does make the main event in the end.
Yeah, it's had to look it up because I'm not a big wrestling guy, but as God is my witness, he is broken in half from Hell in the Cell there. That's kind of how it felt seeing McLaughlin just get squashed after that giant quad just getting killed from midair right there. Man, just crazy race here, but hopefully we can settle it down and get some good racing, good clean racing as we get into the 250 and 450 main events here. All these guys have worked their way up and gotten themselves in after a huge gap. See which one of these 250 riders can put it together. Do we see Seth Shirley going out and dominating like he's been used to so far this season, or do we see someone else kind of get up there and get in the mix a little bit?
Be interesting to watch for sure. This is going to be the 5th round of the 2023 250 West Championship, round 5 of 9 rounds for them this year. So quite literally the halfway mark. And with Shirley jumping over to a new program, trying to pick up the win in the first go with them, that'll be obviously the goal on his mind here tonight. But then everybody else behind him trying to stop that freight train from rolling. We got Jet Holyhead second in the championship coming into this one, 23 points down. So tonight, unless those guys stop Seth Shirley from winning this main event, it might be Seth Shirley's championship to lose at this point, because he's in pretty much control already. And if he can win again here tonight, or maybe beat those guys in the points by the end of the evening, I'd have a hard time believing with 4 rounds to go someone else is going to knock him off.
Yeah, 4 rounds to go, but we do have 2 shootouts, correct? So, that's the only thing. If he gets it tonight, he's going to be in a very, very comfortable position. But those shootouts can kind of change anything or everything as we get in, and these guys kind of get mixed in with the East Coast. You never know how the 2 classes are going to match up until they do. We've seen everyone hop up to the 450 class, but Shirley, was having some of the best 450 finishes out of any of the 250 riders. But Crotty and some of those guys that have been showing great speed on the opposite coast might have something to say once we get these 2 racing together on the 250 bikes. So stoked for this one. We got so many big guys and so much to happen here as we move through the list and check out some of these names.
Yeah, Tharp, our fastest qualifiers here. We got Semi Wagman's been looking good. Cade Matherly. By the way, Jack Fowler does go to the main event here tonight because Jeremy Schiavro allegedly was illegally racing the 450 or the 250 class here tonight because he's too high up in the 450 stand. I don't know. I'm very confused. He was 18th in 450 qualifying. That's what Jack Fowler was getting at. So I guess Schiavro was trying to get into the heat races and they let him in and he wasn't supposed to be there. Either way, Jack Fowler makes the main event. That's pretty cool. Jet Holyhead trying to go for his second win of the season here tonight, and see if he can roll it on through. Hey, $20 donation in chat from Team Hockey. I believe that's basically just Kyler Hockey, but thank you so much. Can I get a huge shout out since I suck and can't make a main event? Absolutely. Well done, Kyler Hockey, for that 9th place in the LCQ or wherever you were. Tremendous ride. And honestly, hope to see you at some of these upcoming rounds. I know you've been racing some of the Supercross rounds. You were at Indy in Detroit, I believe. So I'll definitely have to swing by and say hi if I see you at one of these few rounds down the stretch here. But cool to see you out there shredding. And thanks for the donation, good sir.
I thought huge shout outs were $50 and $20 was the medium shout out. Next time, you got a free pass, Kyler.
Okay, sorry.
Good job tonight. I mean,
I'll go back to.
we'll update our prices over here.
We'll give
but
him a medium shout out.
Yeah, shout out Kyler Hockey. Bummer to not make the main event, but glad to see you out here trying to make it. All these guys still racing real life and just out here trying to barking like Leitzel in these races.
Oh, I see. Okay, so Schiabro has 18 points in 250 East, which means he's already raced 250 East, and they somehow let him in for the heat races here tonight in 250 West. Catch the fever, folks. Race Factory Gaming Racing. We're out here having a good time.
Never
All
change,
right, folks,
AMA.
I know. Here we go. It is time for the 250 main event from Seattle. Round 5 of the 250 West Championship. Who's going to get the RaceFactoryGaming.com whole shot? Oh, dragging bar down the start straight. Guys running into each other. Seth Shirley's going to get to the inside line first, and it will be Shirley picking up the RaceFactoryGaming.com whole shot award. Oh, but he cases the quad. Someone jumping through that first rhythm section. Daniel Irvine goes to the lead. Then he goes down. To the front goes Max Chwalik.
That was the second good start of the night. Chwalik, though, good start as well. And, man, glad Shirley could stay on two wheels there after casing that right off the rip. Huge whip by Max Chwalik there as he's going to lead us around on the first lap. Man, his starts have been great, and he showed so much speed this year. It's good to see him back out here.
Chwalik out front at the end of the first lap with Shirley in second place and Jet Holyhead in third. Well, this is what we wanted to see. Our championship 1 and 2 are second and third on track right now, and they're chasing down Chwalik, who has been so fast here tonight. So this is really kind of the cream of the crop in this 250 class, right at the sharp end of the field early in this main event. As we settle in on this second lap of the race, Chwalik leads from the 44 machine of Seth Shirley, and behind him the 50 of Jet Holyhead. 38, 44, 50, 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. Chwalik starting to feel a little bit of heat already as Shirley closes that gap down from his JIBR .co KTM number 44 ride in second place. Battle is already on for the race lead.
Yeah, I mean, you go out there, you get a great start, you make a pass to get into the lead there. Oh, Shirley's going to miss. Oh, luckily he goes off. He wasn't going to clear that triple. Only going to lose one spot there, but man, it's not easy when you get a great start like that, and you're already nervous. You're in first. You want to kind of put it down and pull away, but you got someone like Seth Shirley leading a championship by so much on your heels. You feel like you have no time but just to kick it into gear. So Shirley with that big mistake, going to give him a little bit of breathing room, but he is still right there following this top three, all pretty much within one corner there.
Yeah, the top three are definitely breaking away just that little bit as Shirley goes into the tough blocks. Looks like he kind of followed Holyhead into them, and Holyhead just veered left at the end. Now Holyhead on the 50 machine has got his head down, trying to close the gap down to Chwalik out front, who just went into the tough blocks after that triple into the corner. So early on in this main event, a couple of mistakes already shining through from our front runners. And with Shirley, who was maybe going to try to go to the lead on Chwalik, now he's settling back in third comfortably as Chwalik is going to start dealing with pressure from Holyhead. Holyhead got through the whoops pretty good, but then jumped to the inside of the corner right there, made a small mistake, and Chwalik slides that gap open up just a little bit more, 1.1 at the end of lap number 3.
Yeah, these guys are looking great up front. Little tiny mistakes from everyone, but doesn't look like Shirley's gaining too much. Just a little bit of kind of rubber banding between this top three right here. They all have their kind of sections on the track or sections where they make tiny little mistakes. Oh, and that's
Shirley's down.
Shirley looks like he might have missed the triple in there.
Gonna get hopped over. Semi Weigman was one of the riders to jump over top, so he's gonna lose 3 positions in the end as he remounts now down in 6th position. Maxime Vanderbeek also went by McIntosh, and then it was Weigman going through into that 3rd position on his 813 Team Burtis Wallman Racing ride out there, as Rogan McIntosh now settles in behind him in the 4th spot. Maxime Vanderbeek in 5th. Still just 1.1 in it between our two leaders, but the battle right now might be for this 3rd position as McIntosh tries to close that gap down. Weigman cases the Supercross triple, and this is a good little battle starting to brew here. Shirley regroups behind these guys. Kind of a slight battle for the lead still going on. Chwalik is just putting in the work out front right now. Holyhead has kept him honest, but hasn't quite been able to get close enough to maybe show him a wheel and try to ruffle his feathers a little bit. Chwalik has just been putting in those motos.
Yeah, he looks really comfortable out front. Both of these two guys making small little mistakes here. Nothing huge, though. No fall-offs completely off the bike. So good to see these guys just kind of putting in work. I was wondering how they were going to do with the pressure of, one, each other, but also having our championship leader right behind them. But those two have broken away. 7.6 seconds back to third with Sammy Weigman, who is a speedster as well. But then he's got a whole train of guys. So Holyhead, his only thing he has to worry about the whole rest of this race is, can I put in my laps, stay consistent, and either wait for a mistake or just catch and cleanly pass our race leader right here. So Twalik with a great start so far, and these two just putting on a clinic right now. And this is going to be a lot of, especially for Holyhead, who's second in the championship points, it's going to be really interesting to see if they can hold it together, and this is going to be a huge confidence booster going out and beating someone straight up like that when you're behind in the championship.
Yeah, I mean, the bigger implications here for Holyhead that you have to factor in is that if he can get around Twalik and win this main event with Shirley still down in 6th position, that's a huge change in the points right there. I think that would be 8 or 7 points gained against Shirley right there in just that little kind of exchange, I guess. So, no, that's way more than that. I'm doing my math all wrong. That's 9 points gained. So go from 23 down to 14 if he could win this main event with Shirley staying in 6. Obviously, a lot of racing still left to go. But if you're Holyhead, this is about the best opportunity you can hope for in this main event to maybe go out and win this thing and try to claw this championship back in your favor a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to help him so much with his confidence here. If they can ride this main event, even if he doesn't win, if they can ride this main event exactly how they're doing, 1-2 train while gapping third place position, hopefully that's as far back as he can get. Seth Shirley, though, looks like he's outside of 5th where he was before. It looks like he moved back to 7th place, so not sure if he had a full fall off, but he lost a couple spots there to Matherly and one other rider. So now this is even a bigger points gap between these guys. And maybe I will change my tune towards the end of this race and say that Holyhead does need to get a move on and maximize the points gap. But seeing Twalik even just jump off the side of that triple right there, if he's still comfortable in 2nd place, Holyhead's going to think that he's maybe getting a little bit nervous up there, and he can attack whenever he wants. It's only 6 minutes into this main event, so there's still a lot of time to go for both these guys.
Yeah, and another thing Holyhead can do here that not often we get to see very much is actually study where Twalik is maybe gaining a slight advantage of him in terms of line selection. Most of the lines are pretty much the exact same, but there's a few spots, maybe a rut here or doing this here, there, a little bit different that you can maybe pick up on that the guy's doing. Maybe he's carrying a little bit more momentum. And actually, Shirley's down in the background in this berm right here. He's down with Sam Weigman, who was down on the 813 again. So Shirley's really starting to come into some problems here. Tharp is now going to be right on his rear fender as well, and Shirley's in danger of falling a little bit further down in this potential points chase if he continues to make these mistakes. And look at this, Tharp to the inside in the sand might have him. Not quite. Shirley rips the outside and holds it on.
No, I do like that. I don't think you're really going to get a pass from that inside unless you completely are already on the guy's wheel, and it's the only thing you can do is go up the inside and block him. But I do like the fact that Tharp hit that cleanly and was able to at least show a wheel. There's a Weigman and Shirley. Shirley goes down again. It's just all falling apart. He does stay up. Oh my goodness. Braden Tharp's going to fall off. He's had such bad luck. I feel like we've seen Tharp down 18 times tonight. Just a bummer for him, but he still was up inside the top 10. Now barely going to hold on, I think. Shirley back up, though, after a huge mistake. That's some big luck right there. But, man, just Shirley's got to get it together. It's kind of unraveling. You have all of those points. You need to pull it together and just get back up in the 5th. Like, that's all it is. You don't need to push. You don't need to try to win. Just settle down, take a deep breath, and see how far up you can get.
Yeah, so he's got Cade Matherly right in front of him still. Then Weigman up the road a little ways. Vanderbeek now running in 4th position with McIntosh kind of all by himself in 3rd, 6 seconds ahead of Vanderbeek, but 11 seconds behind what is slowly developing into this little battle for the lead. It just seems like Holyhead catches him, then drops a little bit. But now, look at this. Twilik's dealing with some lap traffic as he has to do an option line right here. This is going to cost him a lot of time, especially if Holyhead can get that optimal line around the outside. But now he gets blocked by lap traffic. They really don't know where he is, so they're trying to get out of the way as they're still racing each other. Marchini on the 74 is going to take advantage and make a pass right there. So just as Holyhead started catching Twilik out front because of this lap traffic, it seems like it's starting to affect him just as much now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, you do have friends you're racing with or talking to while you're doing these races, but that is kind of the thing about being on a big team. A lot of these guys up front, or when we see those fills guys, this Holyhead's going to make a mistake. He's going to stay on 2. Doesn't fall all the way off the bike, but is going to lose a lot of time here. And the biggest part about that is he got back behind all 4 of those lappers he just made it past. So yes, he didn't lose a position, but he's going to put in all that work again that Chwalik's not going to have to do. So we'll see how Holyhead can get back through. They do know he's there this time around, which is going to be a little bit of a help. But man, that's so much more work he has to put in there. And man, that race is tightening up just a little bit, but just like that, it can go away if you make that little mistake.
Yeah, just unfortunate situation there for Holyhead. So Chwalik kind of in control of this thing, has about 7 seconds in hand in the race lead, and it's down to just putting in his laps out front. 6 seconds actually to be exact, 6.3. McIntosh now sitting a little bit closer to Holyhead, was about 11 seconds down. Now it's just 5 back of him. Then Vanderbeek still in 4th. Matherly rounds out the top 5 as Shirley still kind of struggling. Doesn't look like he's got his flow and wits about him. Much different than the heat race earlier on tonight, where he looked really in control, really comfortable building towards this main event. And it just seems like those few crashes that he's had have really knocked his rhythm off, and he just can't quite figure it back out again.
Yeah, Shirley is 32 seconds off of the lead. Chwalik in the lead. I don't know if that was Chwalik down there, but it's going to be looking like, or they're going to be over half the track ahead when you start seeing them in the different rhythm sections. So going to be interesting to see if you can spot those other guys as we watch, or spot Shirley's charge with that red plate. But it does look like it's all unraveling here for him. He's just
Matherly down.
Matherly down, so that's another spot going to move him up a little bit more, help with the points. But 33.5 seconds and about 17 to the next position, it looks like. So Shirley going to be able to get up inside the top 5, so going to help not losing as many points as we thought for a second there. But maybe the time off, has helped some of these other guys, and just taking the wind out of Shirley's sails a little bit. But top 5 actually is not as bad of a points deficit that I would think was going to happen with how he was falling apart this race.
Yeah, as it sits right now, he would be losing 5 points to Holyhead specifically in the championship. Holyhead would go from 23 back to 18 back. So Holyhead really needs this win and those 3 points in his favor. That would help him out quite a ton as McIntosh continues to kind of grind away and start closing this gap down to Holyhead.
Holyhead get the lead?
Oh, yeah, Chwalik was down. That was Chwalik down on the inside. I saw a bike down, but I didn't see blue. He must have just been in the tough blocks too much. So it changed for the lead. Holyhead takes over the point. Chwalik now settles in right behind McIntosh. Might try to get him back right there, and he does down the inside. Turns to the outside. McIntosh going back up the inside didn't quite work in the sand. So now Chwalik has to go back to the drawing board. Try to figure out how he can close this gap down on Holyhead. How he doesn't crash either.
Yeah.
As more riders down. Lap traffic getting involved here slightly. But it is White Drizzle in the race lead here with about 3.5 minutes plus
together.
a lap still to go, and these guys are all over the place in the whoops. Lap traffic still in the way. Oh my goodness, how did Chwalik? And now he just shoves him out of the way. Get out of here. I'm trying to go forward. Maybe pass into the race lead here before long, as Holyhead starting to make some mistakes. 56 flat. 2.6 seconds is the gap. Can Chwalik close this thing back down again?
Yeah, Holyhead, I think he's had a couple mistakes in the whoop so far. Oh, and Chwalik going to case that as well. But I think it was...
That was McIntosh jumping over top of him.
McIntosh wasting no time there. I think he was trying to avoid that lapper, so that's what happened in the whoops there. So Chwalik back one more spot. Oh, Chwalik's going to push the front, not go down, though. You got to get yourself up there. Is he going to lose another spot? No, he's not. He's got such a huge gap back to 4th place. But it's interesting. So Holyhead wants all these guys, they're battling, but he wants them to stay up and kind of settle down. Every position between him and Shirley is important to him in this championship battle. So those 2nd, 3rd, 4th positions of Chwalik, Vanderbeek, all those guys, he wants them to stay up. Only 24 seconds back to Shirley. No, and that's going to be a bunch of points.
Yeah, he's going to lose 5 points right there in that single crash as he was down out of the race lead after the whoops. And Rogan McIntosh has gone to the front here in Seattle. Chwalik settles back into 2nd place. And McIntosh, who is just chipping away at the 2 leaders, finally benefits as they both have huge mistakes. They have now both crashed in this one. And McIntosh, with just 2 minutes and a lap left to go in this main event, has his Covenant number 45 machine out front in this one, looking for his first win of the season. This would be a big one for the 45 if he could get it done. Chwalik's still lurking there, 3.4 seconds down. But if McIntosh continues to ride like he has been over the last few laps, maybe this is his win for the taking.
Yeah, I mean, if you see guys making mistakes around you like he has, every time he's been slowly moving up through this field and you see guys making mistakes and you're like, maybe it's just my night. All you have to do is be consistent, avoid those lappers, which, man, a lot of lappers down at the end of the whoops that these guys are having to avoid. So going to be really tricky here as he navigates his way through the rest of this race. Just over a minute and 15 plus a lap. So 3 laps left, most likely for these guys here tonight in this 250 main event. So we'll see if McIntosh can hold on to this and keep working his way through this field.
Yeah, the only difference about what he was doing when he was running in that second or third position was he was chasing, now leading. Does the pressure change a little bit? Do you start thinking about where you are in terms of a potential win coming into your favor? I know that you and I only have really like one situation that we can think back to about this, but I know when I was leading late in that moto at Budds Creek back in 2014, I was thinking about it with about 2 or 3 to go. I was like, man, this is about to be the coolest thing ever. And then you start making those mistakes. You think about it too much. It gets into your head. You just got to try to keep those thoughts out of there if you can.
Yeah, I've definitely gone from, podium finish, working your way through last couple minutes, last couple laps, and you haven't looked at the race time all day. And these guys do have their race timer up, so they can see how much left is there. Easy to check over in the middle of a jump. And see where you're at. But I've definitely gone from second to, ninth and with 2 laps to go, even in nationals where everyone's spread out. So try to not focus on that. You are getting told you are only going to have a lap and a half probably right now as we just hit 15 minutes. And then your main goal, especially if you have a lead like he does, is just slow it down, relax, take some deep breaths, and try to keep hitting your marks and don't push anything too much. I would not be surprised to see him go very slow through the whoops these next 2 laps.
Yeah, he's maybe only going to double him. I mean, Holyhead is not that far back, but if you're McIntosh, you're just going to play it as safe as possible. Really clean on top of him right there. Really great run on the whoops for McIntosh. So it comes down to this. The white flag is going to wave this time by in Seattle. Rogan McIntosh is looking for his first win of 2023. This will be a big one. And Jen Holyhead would
look at the top of the screen.
He'd really like to use those points if he can. Schwalik, Vanderbeek, Tharp has moved around. Shirley, who's down again.
He was in 6th already. So
Matherly is going to go by. So Seth Shirley losing more positions, more points. This would be huge if Holyhead could win this thing. McIntosh avoiding a downed rider right there. Again, going around some lap traffic. He's really just minding his own business, trying to hold this thing down. A few more corners to go.
Yeah, I mean, just getting a great ride by McIntosh here, staying smooth, staying out of trouble, and honestly, he deserves it. He's got a couple more turns to go, and not going to start talking about his podium speech just yet. Want to make sure he gets there first, but Jet White Drizzle, Holyhead in 2nd place as well, 5 seconds back, and that late last-minute crash is going to give him the extra points on Shirley that he needs. Shirley did drop to 7th, now back to 6th, but it's all about this guy right here.
Here it is. Rogan McIntosh wins his first race of 2023 as he wins the Seattle Supercross in the 250 class. Comes from behind, passes the 2 gentlemen who were battling for the lead in Schwalik and Holyhead when they both went down. In the end, they'll have to settle for 2nd and 3rd as Schwalik rounds out the podium. Holyhead picks up P2. Vanderbeek is going to come across the line in 4th place, so a great ride for him. Tharp ends up in 5th. Shirley is in 6th through the whoops on the final lap, and he's getting crossed over. Got a little bit close. Oh, Tharp is down as well, so more positions for Shirley, who's going to go from 7th to 5th on the final lap to really salvage some good points right there. Tharp will pick it up still in 6th. What happened? Cade Matherly just apparently died. I don't even know where he is anymore.
Just like Tharp.
Yeah, Gatlin goes by into 7th now, and Matherly goes from battling for a top 5 to 8th in this one. Jackson, first guy a lap down in 9th, and Weigman rounds out the top 10 when all is said and done. So we'll have to wait for those cuts to come in to decide our final positions. But as it stands right now, that would only be, and it stays as such, so it'll only be 23, 21, 19, 18. So it'd only be a 5-point swing in the favor of Jet Holyhead, down from 23 to 18 in this championship hunt. But the man of the night, Rogan McIntosh, gets it done. The Covenant number 45 is on top here in Seattle, and he looks stoked. He should be. What a great ride.
Yeah, Rogan Barkintosh, just able to pull it all together, winning that heat or winning that main event here tonight. Just like I keep saying, so solid. Look at the lap times. 54.7, followed by a 54.0, 3.9, 4.5, 3. Just no one slower with a slower lap time, fastest lap time until 7th place. We have to go that far back, and then again until about 11th place. So, man, it's just crazy that consistency, staying smooth, just going out there and just riding around, riding smart. and that's what can get you a win, especially in this 250 class when these guys are making so many mistakes. Kind of cool to see, though. It would be fun to see Shirley. He had been so dominant, gain those points back, but he is going to come out of here losing those 5 points. And it's going to make it a little bit more exciting for us week in and week out as we cover this, especially going into the shootout races to see what kind of happens there. If Holyhead can pull it together, kind of settle his nerves, and start to become a championship contender down the stretch in this 250 West Coast Championship.
Yeah, well, we definitely theorized after that heat race that, hey, Seth Surley's been racing all these East Coast races. We haven't seen Holyhead. We haven't seen too many of these other guys out there. Maybe Shirley just picked up everything he needed for this championship run down the stretch with those 450 races. Wins his heat race, looks so solid coming into tonight. And in the end, he loses championship points. So this thing could go any direction, especially with those East-West showdowns coming up. We'll have a week off for these guys in the 250 class. Next week, no racing, with a week off in the real series, of course. And then we'll be back for the Triple Crown at Glendale after that. So, man, strap in, folks. That's going to be a fun one when we get there. But, of course, before we end here tonight, we have to jump into the 450 class. 450 main event here from Seattle coming up, round 11 of their championship. Carter in control of the series after his 5th win of the season last week in Detroit. But, man, Leclerc looked pretty solid here tonight. Jacob Hubbard won a heat race. Payson Johnson barely made the main event, but maybe that fires them up to come out of the gates blazing here tonight. Or maybe somebody else that we haven't been focusing on too much here tonight gets the win for the first time in the 450 class. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, really excited for the 450 race as always. This class, it's so hard to predict. I mean, Carter's come out and win most of these races so far, so it's hard to bet against him. Colby Eaglin, though, a quiet 3rd place behind that big battle of Leclerc and Carter in 450 Heat 1. So got to keep an eye out on him. He can come out and win any week. So going to be interesting to see what happens here as we get into it. So many good guys, so many good starters in the 450 class. You really just, you know those guys are going to be up front, but you can't predict who the spoiler that's going to shine this week is going to be. And then that week off, though, for these 250 guys, they did have such a long break. I'm curious if someone came out, Seth Shirley had a little bit of a hiccup, if he can take this time to, get it back together and put himself back on the top step. Or same for Holyhead and McIntosh, if they're going to be able to keep these winning, podium ways after a week off, or if they're going to lose it. So going to be really weird to see how it affects these 250 guys after such a long break going straight into another one.
Yep. All right, well, we'll see what happens with them in 2 weeks' time. But now it's the 450 main event coming up, where I think we're in a bit of a holding pattern here. And I wonder, look at this, 24 riders are in the main event here tonight. Adam Holm and Noah McLaughlin didn't make it, but it looks like they are on the entry list. I'm trying to just follow chat real quick here. Yeah, there's some people that are not too thrilled with Jeremy Siebold, that's for sure. Yeah, I'll probably shut that down. Don't need that on the stream for too long, but yeah, definitely some frustration, and I wonder if any of that carries over. I mean, hey, if you're Adam Holm and you go to the gate thinking you were not going to the gate, you maybe have a little bit of a different mindset about things that you could lose here tonight. Going to be interesting, though. We're about to have a packed main event. This is the most people in a main event we'll ever see, because they don't normally do this additional stuff, but it appears that they're doing it out of good faith based on the fact that Jeremy Siebold was causing so many riders to go down as a lapped rider. Yeah, I'm really glad McLaughlin got in and is going to get his chance. I don't know I can't remember what Holm did to get back in or what happened to him. And Payson's still in there, so, not going to kind of hurt him. He is in the championship hunt, but those two guys, the last two gate picks, if they want it, they can get gate 23 or 24, and that is second row, first and second gate. So they can really go wherever you want behind that gate, as long as they do the math right. So going to be interesting to see what they do there. Actually, I guess Payson would have first pick if he wants to get in there. Any of those other guys, I think, could go back and steal it ahead of them. So going to be weird to see how this goes, and if any of those guys from the back row do get a good start. Well, if they do start on the back row, I guess they would be down the inside, right? So if you're Payson Johnson, you end up on front row, you'd be all the way on the outside. Is there almost a strategy to back row inside versus all the way outside that you would recommend doing?
I would go second row inside and just try to ride slow. I mean, or you could just start far outside and cut all the way over. I mean, that was a technique I would use if I didn't get a jump there. But interesting because, yeah, if they allowed 24 in, that means they have spots for 24 gates. So the first two should be available to anyone from first to all the way through, you know, and the higher seed you are. Someone could even sneak it if they were the 9th qualifier. So going to be weird to see how this plays out, or if they lock them to the gates, if that's where it's going to be interesting to see. But I don't know. Haven't seen one of these in a while. I feel like there's been a lot of controversy since the last time this has happened. I just feel really good for McLaughlin to be able to get in and just ride your own race and do what you did after earning it, in my mind, in that LCQ. Yeah, and clearly RF thought as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's people in chat saying this is a little bit ridiculous, but I'll defend RF all the way right here. If you have someone in an LCQ, let's just say, oh, I don't know, some random guy in the LCQ who's a teammate of somebody in real life throwing his bike at someone in a transfer spot, I'm pretty sure there's going to be people getting in the main event because of that did not make the main event in real life. Like, it's just the way it's going to be. You can't expect it to be any different when there's that egregious of stuff going on like we've seen here tonight out of Jeremy Seabolt. So unfortunately, that's the situation we're in, where immaturity reigns supreme instead of fair racing. But now we are here in a situation where we have extra people on the gate because people decided to be immature, and now they get to be in the race because those immature people were on the track with them.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see Plessinger going out there and like, I'm just going to triple onto Eli Tomac's head so that this guy can win the championship, right? If Eli Tomac didn't die, they would probably not let Plessinger race and put Tomac in. Like, it's just, there's definitely zero bias there, and it's just looking at it from a mature standpoint and putting the person in who was one lap away from earning it and got it taken away by some egregious move. So I am all for this move here. And it's not gonna affect the championship. The people that are doing that aren't even in the championship, so you have nothing to talk about. If you're not Braden Carter, Alexis Leclerc, or Payson Johnson, I think you have zero right to talk in the race or in chat.
Well, they're not going to add Payson or Carter or Colby from getting 5th in an LCQ because some random's teammate wasn't taking them out to not make it. Like, this is... I don't understand how you're having this bad of a disconnect if you're in the chat room and you don't understand that some rogue person decided he was going to go out and just take people out for fun who were battling for real for the final transfer spot. And then you think it's ridiculous that those people who were in a real race but getting taken out by someone who thought it'd be fun to not real race get added to a main event. I mean, I think that's just like the biggest L take I've seen in this chat room. And unfortunately, it's sad that there's people out there that feel that way, but it is what it is. So let's forget about that. Let's hopefully have a good main event. 24 guys on the gate. We normally have 22, but that situation has added those 2 riders. And we'll see if Leclerc can turn it around from his heat race where he handed it over to Carter, but they went back and forth. Jacob Hubbard wins his heat race here tonight. A lot of good storylines coming into the main event about potential winners aside from our championship contenders. And then, of course, Payson Johnson coming from the far outside gate pick. There's a lot of different storylines going into this 450 main event. And it's kicking off into this stretch run here of the championship as we have a week off next week, but it's all on the line here tonight in Seattle. So here we go, folks. Who's ready for round 11 from the Pacific Northwest? I am. I hope you guys are. Let's rev up and drop the gate in Seattle.
Those extra riders in the first 2 inside gates.
Jeremy Smith got a great jump out of the middle there on the 4. He's going to get to the corner first. Does he control it through? Yes, he does. Jeremy Smith, RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award. Side by side with the 7 of Leclerc. Hubbard's got a great start on the 78. Balzer's in the mix as well as Leclerc takes over the race lead in the second corner.
Yeah, I mean, what a great start by both those guys. Not surprised to see Seabolt there. Smith with a great start as well, but Leclerc out front is not something you want to see. If you're Braden Carter, we got to check back and find out where he is. We got 4 guys in the air. All
Smith
at once,
gets put over the berm, but he saves it. It's Carter right there in the mix behind these guys. Balzer kind of teed into Hubbard right there in that corner, which pushed them all wide into Smith. Smith retains the 6th position. I did not see where Johnson ended up going through that first corner, but it looks like he's outside of our top 10 based on timing and scoring. So it's these 3 or 4 leaders up front battling it out as everybody funnels in behind them. Leclerc leading early on. Balzer playing spoiler as we expected. Carter giving chase to his teammate from 4th.
Yeah, if I take a week off to race this, I'm calling Hubbard and asking about his start technique because he's just so good all the time. Not surprised to see him up there. Awesome to see Balzer so high as well. That's just so awesome. As long as you didn't fall off, that's good. Can still talk about your name, but look at this. Braden Carter going up the inside. He's going to apex that so good and get such a great drive. His whoop technique is awesome. He's not going to lose or gain or lose any time really. And now look at this. Phil's riders 1, 2, 3, and their top 2 in championship points right there. Maybe 1 and 3, but man, this is going to be an awesome race here. Can't wait to see what happens between all 3 of these guys.
Yeah, and remember, Hubbard is still looking for his first win of the year. He won his first ever main event last year at the penultimate round in Denver of the season. So he knows what it takes to win these races, and he's looked great here tonight in Seattle, but he's mixed up with 2 of the best to ever do it. 2-time champion Braden Carter right behind him, 2018 Supercross champion Alexis Leclerc ahead of him. But Leclerc and Carter, another fun fact about both of them is they're currently tied 3rd all-time in 450 Supercross wins in this game, both on 17 apiece. So they are both trying to outdo one another tonight and move back into sole possession of 3rd place, which Leclerc had until Carter snuck up and won that 5th race of the year for him last week in Detroit. So they're trying to win their races. Meanwhile, Hubbard's just hoping to get the second one notched off, as it's a Phil's 1, 2, 3 still, with Balzer right there behind him.
Yeah, I mean, Balzer just is, I'm like mind blown right now. I see Eaglin's going across in 10th, someone that we expect to be up there week in and week out, but Balzer's just has such a great ride here moving in from the 250 class, and look how close he is to Carter, and that's after going down in the 2nd spot. So just really pumped to see him up there just cruising around with these guys, able to match the speed, and that's going to be big. You know, if he ever decides to move up to the 450 class full time, this is going to give him a lot of confidence in the 250 class as well. Look at Carter, though, with this insane speed right now. He gained a lot of time there on his teammate, and he's inching forever closer to the 2nd place position. And once he gets that, it's clear air. And then maybe a pass right here.
Yeah, look at that. Hopping through the whoops a little bit. Both of them hopping, actually. Doolies. As Carter's going to make the pass down the inside of Hubbard into that 2nd position. Quick shout out to Luke Sullivan, who's running now in 4th. He just got around Rasmus Balzer, who I believe went down. Jeremy Smith moves up into the top 5. T-Lang 6th. Heilman 7th. Balzer now slips back to 8th as Eaglin goes 9th. Badani is 10th. McLaughlin, Larson, Tomich, and then Johnson now down in 14th place for the 51 machine. He's trying to charge forward from a rough start on that District Designs number 51. But I think all eyes are going to be focused on the lead battle now. Leclerc, 21 points down in this championship entering tonight. Needs a win to stop the bleeding from Carter if he's to make a run at this championship down the stretch. And now Carter is the one doing the chasing. 2 seconds back. Whoa, strap in, folks. This is going to get good.
Yeah, it's not very often that you lose 5 points. I mean, they have had their bad races, but it's not very often that you're getting kind of bigger swings like 5 points, right, every single week before these guys. They're going back and forth. Leclerc wins 1, and then Carter wins 2 or 3. Like, you need to stay in 2nd place position. So to have Carter in 2nd behind you is not the best as far as points paying positions, but I mean, he's got to keep getting these wins. This 450 championship, it has a lot more rounds to go than the 250 class does. But when he's right there on your tail, 3 points every week even isn't going to get it. So you almost have to have the thought of, if he wins out, what can happen. So Leclerc, even if it's just 1 position this week, he needs to come out every single week and try to win and expand this gap, because or else he's not going to be able to close it down on Braden Carter.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Carter has eaten that gap alive in a hurry. It has gone from over 2 seconds to under a second in a single lap, and Carter looks tremendous in the whoops right now as he's got that gap closed down on Leclerc. It's the 7 of Leclerc. It's the 1 of Carter battling for supremacy tonight here in Seattle. Already 5 minutes down to this main event, still 15 minutes and a lap to go, and it could be anybody's race at the front here. And who knows, maybe these two get together and allow Jacob Hubbard back into the fray here. He is still holding on in 3rd place on that 78 machine. Phil's ski and snowboard 1, 2, 3, but I have a feeling these two out front are really hoping to start stretching this out and battling with each other as they get away from the pack. Leclerc looks like he's responded a little bit now to Carter's pressure from behind. Wonder if he's trying to up his pace to match, or if Carter's made a couple mistakes. He just tripled on and made a mistake right there, so he's going to have to regroup. I don't know how he just went 3-3 after casing that table on, but he got it clean as can be, and now settles back into Hubbard's grasps a little bit as Leclerc stretches it back out. I don't know. Hubbard seems like he's going a little bit faster than these guys, and Carter just went down in the whoops.
Yeah, Carter, big mistake. Maybe you just get thrown off by getting that wheel spin, messing up that rhythm, and unable to he's one of the most consistent in these whoops lately, but a huge mistake there, and that's just something you can't do. So many times back in the day or in the 250 class, you can fall multiple times and still go out there and win races. But if you make one big mistake like that, that might be it. You might not get an inch given to you from Leclerc. So Leclerc could ride this thing out clean for the next 14 minutes plus a lap. So that's going to be a huge mistake by him. Loses 2 spots actually, so goes back to 4th. Luke Sullivan to 3rd. And I don't know if these guys in front of him are going to make any mistakes or allow him to get back up. He does have the speed, but man, that's a tricky game to play when you have to push that hard.
Well, it looks like at least he did have enough speed to kind of consistently do it without too many mistakes. Hey, shout out again. Luke Sullivan has just worked his way right into the mix. I don't know how he just saved it through the whoops. He got so sideways. But he's also running very competitive lap times. 53.3, 52.6 last time by.
Sully.
53 flat out of Hubbard, 53.3 out of
Is he
Leclerc.
the fastest?
So other than Carter's 52.3, I mean, these guys are going in reverse order of who's the fastest rider on the track, and Sullivan is looking really solid in this mix right now, trying to close the gap down on Hubbard from 3rd place. Let's go on board the TSCZ Productions number 11.
Yeah, I mean, if only Carter's faster than you, you're pretty much like the fastest guy out there. So that's insane that he's even that close. Luke Sullivan, though, I don't know what happened from his heat race to his main event, but he is just on a good one right now.
Oh, we
Great
have a change
start.
for the lead, actually. Sorry to
No,
butt
you're
in, but
good.
Hubbard is taking it over. I don't know what happened to Leclerc, but I just saw timing and scoring kind of glitch for a second and reset. Then I saw the 7 machine right in front of Sullivan instead of the 78. Little bit confusing, but Leclerc must have just had a small tip over. So Hubbard assumes the race lead here on to lap number 10. 7.5 minutes have gone. We still have 12.5 minutes plus a lap to go, so plenty of time still remaining in this thing as Leclerc tries to settle back in. Sullivan's still right there. Carter's trying to close the gap down from behind all these guys, and the race continues out front. It is nose to tail now between Hubbard and Leclerc for the lead.
Yeah, this is awesome right now. Sullivan can go out and win this thing. You just got to withstand the pressure. And Leclerc also, as he tries to show a wheel up the inside, maybe going to scare him a little bit there. And Sullivan's going to close up on him, and then make a mistake right there, so it's going to pull back apart. But Leclerc sometimes, when he can't get around someone, he does get a little bit frustrated and is unable to make the move. Just like that, we saw a little bit of a mistake when he's very close behind someone and can't make a quick pass.
Yeah, as he hops through the whoops a little bit right there, Braden Carter, because of all these mistakes, is closed right up to the rear fender of Luke Sullivan as they're going to come through this bowl corner before the finish line jump. And now the battle for 3rd is the one to watch, as the 11 of Sullivan dealing with the pressure of 2-time defending champion Braden Carter on the 1 machine right behind him. Carter looking for a quick way around perhaps so he can get up into that fight with his teammates Leclerc and Hubbard ahead of him, as again Leclerc and Hubbard starting to run nose to tail out front. Look at this different line by Carter, doubling in, quad single to the inside, but he missed the inside rut, so that just cost him some time right there. Back out front, Hubbard has lost the lead. Leclerc is taking it back over, so just like that, the 7 machine scoots his way to the front, and we have a change for position again.
Yeah, it's so hard when you got either one of these guys. I said Leclerc makes some mistakes right behind. As a lapper goes cartwheeling.
Oh my goodness.
Pirouettes, almost rides out, comes back across the other way. That's about the scariest thing you can see when you're coming through a whoop section, not knowing where the guy's going to go. Look at these two both in the air at the same time. Sullivan not giving up, or Hubbard not giving up here, so close to these guys. And look at this. It's just these two, and then right behind them, another quick pack of Sullivan and Carter right there. So this is an awesome battle for this top 4 here. No one else really even close. Tyler Lang 11 seconds back in 5th. Look at this side by side here. Different lines. He's going to block the inside. He is going to get the inside this time. Doesn't blow it like Carter, but man, this is some awesome racing up front here tonight.
I wonder if Sullivan knew that Carter was going to try to check up and go to that inside rut, because he read that beautifully. He may have just been doing it anyway, because he knew if he tripled it or quadded to the outside that he couldn't block that line as well. But he just went to the inside and totally blocked what Carter was going to do, which is check up and go to the inside and try to pass him that way anyway. So great riding there for Sullivan. Gosh, these guys get about halfway through and it just looks like it's a Hail Mary every single time. But now Carter's got to try to reset, figure out another passing opportunity, and decide where it is that opportunity exists. Both of these guys looking pretty solid about all the way around the track. And actually, they're starting to inch up to Hubbard, who is slowly losing touch with Leclerc. Leclerc 1.4 seconds out front now. Hubbard just kind of splitting the gap between these two. As the battle continues, Carter trying to maybe get that inside line. No, instead, just funnels in behind Sullivan once again.
Yeah, Sullivan definitely reacted to that blown little option line there. And look at these guys still so close. I'm surprised. I really thought Carter would have blown by him. But like we saw, Sullivan was second fastest in this race. And these guys, I'm so proud of Sullivan and Hubbard right now. This is just awesome racing. We're 11 minutes into this race, and our top 4 are still this close, this deep into the championship. You have 2 guys going out. Sullivan, don't do it. Don't do it. I like you. Doolies. And then these guys are going to still keep it going. Just look at this battle. Like, to come in 11 rounds into the series, something like that. We're deep in here. And just kind of play spoiler is just awesome to see. You know, it's just there. When it's your night, it's your night.
Yeah, he's definitely mixing it up with the big dogs. And again, fight for the lead is coming up again. Hubbard is slowly reeled back in Leclerc as those two continue to just fight it out for third place. And it seems like Hubbard has figured out some options.
No!
And as I say that, he goes down. He slides out. I'm the one that's giving the curses out this time. So the second place position now goes to Sullivan. Carter trying to eat him up down the inside here. Sullivan goes defensive, has to go to the outside berm. Carter makes it easy in the end to the inside. So just like that, it is Leclerc Carter 1-2 once again.
Oh, the dream is gone. That was so awesome. I mean, you can always just say it's going to end up being Carter and Leclerc in the end, just like it was in the heat race. Those guys lasted so long, though. The stamina that they had is just insane. Sullivan, though, not giving up. He's right there. He does check up, miss the inside there a little bit, but he's not going to give up till this race is over. And we saw Carter make a huge mistake earlier. Are there smaller ones or another big one as they have to go through lappers? Look at that. Leclerc made a mistake there. It looks like he missed a shift or he's definitely not letting up. He's in the championship battle, but look how close this battle is now. Carter, Leclerc, 1-2.
Oh, man, off they go. Triple to this section. Carter, wonder if he figured out something that he likes with that inside option through this corner. Maybe he takes it next time through. Excuse me, if they're still close. But the battle is on. We have 7 minutes plus a lap still to go here. 7 versus 1 for supremacy in Seattle. Scrubbing that jump down nicely. Carter, lap traffic in the way. Leclerc cuts out of the corner and gets into the lap rider and goes down. And guess who the lap rider is, ladies and gentlemen? It is Payson Johnson getting up from a crash sideways in the track, takes out Leclerc, battling for the lead. Hubbard must have went down as well because now he's going to end up behind Johnson, who's still not moving for the leaders who are blue flagging him for sure at this point in time, as Johnson just gets right back into the fray. Now he finally goes down and gets out of the way as Leclerc gets held up by all that traffic once again. And Leclerc goes from the lead battle to well out of it as, oh man, Johnson just causing all kinds of more havoc out there. So Carter to the lead. Sullivan finds himself in second place and pretty close because a mistake that Carter made was off camera there. And then Hubbard in third with Leclerc losing so much ground. And now he is down again to the inside of this on-off right here. So it went from a great battle to just completely falling apart as Johnson got in the way and caused Leclerc to go down.
I mean, it's just such a bummer. All I want is these championships to go down the line. Yes, I respect a lot of these guys, most of these guys out here, and it's awesome to see the racing, but nothing would make our job more fun than for every week this championship battle just to tighten up a little bit more. And, you know, whether it was 100% his mistake or whatever, it sucks to see Leclerc going down like that. If you know, even if it can be affected a little bit, even in real life, you don't like to see lappers affecting your situation. But now he's down so far, especially with that extra fall off. Braden Carter is just going to ride this one home. I think he's got 6 minutes plus a lap here. But I really don't want to take away from Luke Sullivan. This swing's not over right now. Luke Sullivan, Jacob Hubbard can definitely get up here and make this thing interesting. And Sullivan, don't do it. I keep telling you, don't do it. Hit the transfer. He's going to get on just in front of Hubbard right there, who looks like he might have lost a little bit of time. But, you know, these two are still within the crash of Braden Carter, so it's not over just yet. Anything can happen, and either way, it's going to be awesome to see if we can see these two on the box here tonight.
Yeah, the battle for second is definitely on right here, and for them, they're just going to hope for mistakes out of Carter. It was close enough where Sullivan could think about a late run here, but Carter's opened this up just enough now that they're going to need some help out of the race leader. But the 11 and the 78 battling it out for second place right here, both would be great finishes for them if either one of them could finish up in second place, so they certainly want this one. And the fortunate thing for them is because there's an 18-second gap. Whoa! Oh, Carter was down. Wow, he was actually not off the bike either, so it was just like a weird slide-out mistake on that section. Goes back to third place. Luke Sullivan is leading the main event here, folks, with 4 minutes and a lap still to go, looking for his first career 450 main event win. Oh, man. Hubbard would like his first win of the season as well, and Carter's going to go back to work to try to reel him in. This is going to get fun.
4 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Luke Sullivan, he's had some great seasons on the 250 class, in the 250 class in his career. But yes, would be his first 450 win. Just an awesome ride tonight by him, Hubbard, and Braden Carter. Just a couple mistakes. I think he got a little kicked off that on-off, and just you get a little weird like front end lock flop on the ground where you don't completely fall off. But Luke Sullivan able to take advantage, and Braden Carter actually going to get past Hubbard. So Carter's now into second. Luke Sullivan's making a huge mistake in this rhythm section. Just like that, Braden Carter closing up the gap on our leader.
Yeah, but Carter must have made the same mistake because he ended up in the same option line as Sullivan, where he was triple doubling into the corner right there. So I don't know what exactly happened that put Carter offline, unless he just went for the double quad triple double through that rhythm section, but definitely didn't gain too much time despite the mistake out of Sullivan and that mistake out of Hubbard either going down or whatever it was. He's definitely not in the fight anymore. So it comes down to this. 3 minutes in a lap. Braden Carter looking for his 6th win of the season and looking for the opportunity to move into sole possession of 3rd all-time on the 450 wins list with his 18th career win versus Luke Sullivan navigating lap traffic, looking for his first career 450 Supercross win in MX Simulator. Oh man, going to be biting those nails off for the next few minutes here because Sullivan is going to do everything he can to make it happen.
Oh, and he's going over the bars!
No, he's down off the outside of the track into the tough blocks and over the bars. I think he was thinking about that lap traffic ahead of him as he landed in those tough blocks and went down. He doesn't rejoin the track because he saw Hubbard coming, so a very smart move right there as Hubbard takes over second place. And now it's Carter's race to lose if he's going to lose it down the stretch. 2.5 minutes or so plus a lap still to go in this thing. Carter back in control.
It's not over, but I feel like the Cinderella story feels a little bit like AP here right now. Just rooting so hard for the guy. You want him to get the win. You're so deep in the race, and just a little mistake. Yeah, was he looking at that lapper that was on the right side, maybe messed up his rhythm? Timing is off, and
whoa,
what? I don't even know what's going on over
down
there. But that's scary when you're Braden Carter. But if all the rest of these guys can, is that Payson Johnson? That is.
Whoa.
And
no, that is not Johnson.
That's someone else really smart.
Might have been. I don't want to say unless we get a
Yeah.
official number. I don't want to
I remember I had to apologize in the comments. We called out the guy who had like a last turn punt. He got punted.
Yeah, it was Caleb Hall.
Sorry, Caleb Hall again.
So Johnson kind of skipping, or Carter skipping through the whoops a little bit right there. Hubbard still back here in second, and Sullivan has lost another position. He's right behind Leclerc in the battle for third. Oh, and Sullivan down again in the whoops.
Oh, it's just falling apart for him here tonight. The crazy thing is, I think he's still gonna get up now, or Leclerc's already by.
Yeah, Leclerc went by
Lang
up into third. Lang is now fourth, and Sullivan goes from leading to fifth in 2 laps. You hate to see it. Looks like he'll stay in that position though, because Castellaneta about 11 seconds behind him, and then gaps really spreading out behind that. So what are we gonna see out of our race leader and championship leader Braden Carter down the stretch? He is probably going to have 2 laps to go this next time by. He's kind of hopping through the rhythm section awkwardly still. These ruts are starting to come up and bite these guys in the late stages of this thing. Can Carter still get it done?
Yeah, he's looking a little sketchy right there, but every time he comes through, this track's breaking down so much. All of these ruts, every time these guys hit the sand, I get a little bit scared for them. We're going to have 2 laps to go now as he crosses the finish line 22 seconds before the cutoff. So Braden Carter navigating these ruts, as you see the rider behind him having troubles. It's really not easy as this track gets broken down so much here. I'm going to have to watch out through the sand. Little clip right there. It's not over until it's over, guys. And Braden Carter just trying to survive his last 2 laps here on this track.
By the way, it is Leclerc who's moved up into second place.
Wow.
As he's gotten around Hubbard, so I'm not sure if Hubbard maybe made a small bobble somewhere that allowed Leclerc back into the fray. But right now, Leclerc is back into P2, so it's up to Carter bringing this thing home. White flag will be waving this time by. 2 more runs through the whoops is all he needs, and he's got 1 of them complete. So over the triple here one more time is going to see that white flag waving, looking for that 18th career win. Just has to get through 1 more lap here in Seattle, and it's all his for the taking.
Yeah, I mean, Braden Carter, he just pulls it together. He's defending champion. This will be a 3-peat, right? Correct? So Braden Carter, he just knows how to win. He knows how to manage these championships, and he always seems to end up on top no matter what adversity him or other riders have to face. As I think I just saw Hubbard going down in that other rhythm section. He might lose a spot from where he was at. But Braden Carter always able to ride his own race, keep it together. And, with his win record and coming into third all times, man, it's just impressive to see Braden Carter do this week in, week out, year after year. And you really got to give it up to him.
You really do, because he does it consistently in this Supercross championship. Unbelievable the way that this man just rises to the occasion. He's going to pull that championship lead back out. The 6th win of the season is underway. The 18th win of his career. Braden Carter takes the Seattle Supercross in MX Simulator.
Man, what a ride by him.
Leclerc's
Leclerc's down.
in the whoops. He's going to lose a position. Hubbard is coming. He's charging into the triple. He's going to scrub. Leclerc
so hard.
is rolling into the corner. Down to the finish line they go. Hubbard got close in the end. 2/10 in it, but Leclerc will pick up second. Wow, Lane got right on these guys. Rear fender as well from third. And then Sullivan, Lang, I should say, ends up in fourth. Sullivan looks like he will round out the top 5. Was so good for so long, but it just fell apart down the stretch. Then you got Castellaneta in 6th, 7th for Balzer, who we didn't talk about this entire race, but he's absolutely flying through those whoops. And he'll end up in P7 for the Great Dane. And it's Jeremy Smith, last rider on the lead lap in 8th place, cruising it home there on the 4. So Eaglin behind that. Tomic rounds out the top 10. Leitzel was 11th, Heilman 12th, McLaughlin 13th, Adam Holman 14th, Janice 15th, Parks 16th, Blakely 17th, Caleb Hall 18th, Larson 19th, Gerst 20th, Johnson DNF 21st place, Padani, Ohashi, Holmes, all the guys finishing up in this one. So unfortunate night for Payson Johnson. Really rough go of it. What happened?
Top 3 just changed.
Yeah,
Lang
so
in the third.
Lang goes to third around Jacob Hubbard. So Tyler Lang finally gets on the box. The number 5 JIBR.co machine makes it onto the podium here in Seattle. 175 is your podium here tonight. Carter, Leclerc, Lang, as Carter picks up that 18th career win, his 6th of the season. And the championship lead is now out to 24 points heading into the break.
Yeah, if you could scroll through maybe real quick, just to the end of the field. I just want to look at some riders and some gear and stuff. All right, they're gone. Never mind. I was looking for someone, but KTM, Blue Gear,
race,
kind of ruined the whole, almost killed the leader. But great ride by those guys, man. And when you have a finish that close, they were all 2/10 away from each other, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Braden Carter ended up 17 seconds out front, like that late in the race. That was awesome. Awesome racing, and those guys fighting till the end and, never giving up. So cool to see Lane get that, that top 5 by Sullivan. Hubbard, great ride, still ended up 4th place. So I love this 450 class, man.
So good. Oh, man. All right. I want to give a quick shout out real quick as we jump back in studio here for the final time to Jack Fowler, who donated $4.99 in chat. I missed it earlier, so apologies for that. But he said they got 5th in the LCQ, but got in on a technicality, and it's his first main event. He says night show, but first main event this year and first pro main in 5 years. Oh, so first night show this year, first pro main in 5 years. And appreciate you guys so much. Well, we appreciate you for putting on a good show for us tonight, and congratulations on making that main event. First time in 5 years. Love to see the OGs out here doing a great job, still representing the game quite well. Wow, what a Seattle Supercross. Braden Carter gets the win. Rogan McIntosh with his first win of the season in the 250 class. Carter now up 24 points in this championship. We head into a break next week, Andrew. Carter's championship to lose, I guess. 6 rounds to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good. He's done it a couple times before, and it just seems like it's really hard for him to lose it. He always seems to come out on top or close to it. So if he can manage it and kind of stay out of some carnage, I think it's for sure his to lose. And Shirley as well, lost a couple points this week, but he's shown some really good strength. So Holyhead's going to need to make some step up to try to, keep taking points, chipping away at that. So excited for coming down the stretch, man. This is really getting interesting.
It's definitely getting interesting down the stretch of this championship. 6 rounds to go. Like I said, no racing next week. There's an off week in the series next week, so don't tune in next Wednesday night. We won't be here. But the week after that, we will be back in Glendale for the Triple Crown in Arizona. That'll be a lot of fun. Huge racetrack in Glendale. We always have a good time there. So we hope to see you guys then as we close down the stretch of this championship with 6 rounds still to go. One final shout out to MotoOption Clothing, Underground RC, Phil Ski and Snowboard, and Race Tech Suspension for backing RaceFactorGaming.com and Init Esports here in the 2023 MotoOption AMA Esports Supercross Championship. And a huge shout out to all of you in the chat who tuned in tonight. We had a fun time broadcasting for you guys here from Seattle, and we hope to see you guys in 2 weeks' time when we come back for the Glendale Triple Crown. We're going to send you guys on your way, and we'll see you guys then. Bye-bye for now.